guard, didn't they?
You really did
I
catch me off guard there. I
do
believe it.
the post.
Yeah, do the post.
Do the posting.
Do the postman, man.
Well, wait a minute,
What?
postman.
Huh?
Huh?
Wait a minute, Mr. Postman. Well. Let's have a look at these OPs, GGs, as they say in the biz.
As they say in the biz, yeah.
As
We
they
got
say in the
some
biz.
cool stuff going on.
We know the
If I'm honest
biz.
with you.
Right.
We
I'm
got some
excited to see
cool
LAGA.
stuff. Yeah, it's our first
We've
time.
not got to cast LAGA, and apparently they're very good. So we've got, what I reckon, like the 6 players. Why are there 6 players? There's 5 players. I literally can't count.
You're just dumb.
I reckon Andy, Cycle Juve, Zuka.
Oh, Danny, I need a fourth monitor.
And Incinerate. Yeah, you need a 4th one.
Yeah, I've not got enough
Man,
screen space.
you already got one more than me. Come on.
I've got 3, and I've not got enough. I've been like a madman.
Oh my god. Okay,
I want this. I want this. No, I want this.
People have been playing some solo queue. It looks like Coastline have been playing a lot, actually. Looking at their play rates.
Yeah, we got
at least
a lot
on these
of games.
accounts. They've got a lot of games under their belt already this split.
So, one thing I want to point out, which I'm really excited about, Ugandan Fighter bringing out the Kale. I'm a huge Kale fan.
Damn, yeah, I like that.
Huge Kale fan.
Games,
I think that champion is absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, I like that.
I'll preface that by saying it's disgusting if you can avoid getting completely blasted in the first 5 levels, right?
Yep.
Which I've had wavering success at doing, but if you can come out of that lane relatively unscathed and not 40 CS down,
for sure,
you can be devastating.
Kale is pretty disgusting. Ugandan Fighter has played the scaling picks before with stuff like the Mundo.
Yeah.
He knows
how to transition a mid game into a late game very effectively.
Kale, Mundo, Jax, Gwen, like big scaling picks, even Aatrox to an extent. You know, power pick in the mid game.
Aatrox we are on the patch where Aatrox has received.
Yeah, of course.
Oh wait, no, he's been nerfed. No, he's been nerfed this patch. Sorry.
Oh, is he? Oh,
yes.
Man.
So his buffs last patch put him a bit too far up with the Duskblade build. That was kind of quite disgusting, but he's still going to be a viable pick, I think.
Yeah. Looking at Rickon, not too much to go on. There's 3 Cassante games, which excites me personally. I like that a lot. But
big Cassante fan.
Looks like pretty generic picks: Cassante, Aatrox, Gnar, Olaf, Poppy. Pretty meta stuff. I like that. Looking towards the jungle, Entropy's still a big Ivan player. Has been playing Talia and Carthurstow a lot recently. So AP junglers, very powerful stuff like these AD mid laners with Jason, Tristana.
Yeah, to be honest with you, these last few games that we've cast, I've been a little bit surprised that we've not seen the Tristana a bit more.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of thought we'd see a bit more of that knocking about. I think that champion is really, really good in the right team comp.
Tristana is spectacular in the right team comp. If you can get, it allows you to play these hybrid ADCs like Kai'Sa, Kalista, Varus, particularly. Yeah, I mean Kalista not so much hybrid, but she has a lot of hit that does magic damage. So
yeah, she's often sitting with the like Witsend kind of builds.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
you love Quincy's.
I'm starting to come around to it in certain aspects. I think I might be slightly undervaluing the pen that it gives you as the mythic passive. Like
on Kalista, I think it's hard to argue against Gwynsu's. I think it's pretty powerful.
I tell you what it is, right? I've been thinking about this a lot, and I think I don't like Gwynsu's first.
Fair.
I think Gwynsu's is very good as a force multiplier, but I think until you have on hits for Gwynsu's to proc, unless you're a Vayne or a Kalista with those on hits built in, I think I don't really like it first item. I think second, after like a Nash's Tooth or a Runarns or something like that, I think it can be really good. But
I think it's pretty common that AD carries don't get their mythic first, though, isn't it?
Yeah, which I
think that puts it on par with
most other. I really like the the like Kraken Slayer first on a lot of AD carries.
Yep.
I think with that item being at the price point that it's sitting at the moment, it's really good.
Just noticed Vic has got 45 games already on the rel for
Big
we
follow
know
from
Coastline
Gerteb there. Thank you very much.
Goethe, welcome.
On a hero.
Big flex, rel, big flex, still very powerful.
Yep.
Hasn't been nerfed into the ground as far as I'm aware. On the other side, we've got Annie from Incinerate, so that makes a lot of sense with the name. A lot of Annie support, Melio, Ivan, Thresh, these kind of enchanter ranged.
So
supports.
a lot of these champions
Annie could be flexed as well, which is
have featured
a good answer
in patch notes recently.
Yep.
So obviously we've got Aatrox, Q damage nerfed. You mentioned Ivan. So Ivan's losing magic resist. He's losing the on-hit damage that his W grants allies. His E shield strength is changing. Daisy's duration decreased. No, it's reduced.
Lowered.
Oh no, increased, sorry. So it's W ally on-hit damage increased.
Okay.
Daisy's armor, magic resist, health, attack damage, all decreased, and duration.
Yep.
But it will be pointed out that it's this patch that the smite changes come in towards pets. I don't know if you've seen those.
Oh no, I haven't seen those.
So smite is not going to treat pets like jungle monsters. It's going to treat them like champions.
Oh.
So you can't 1200 Daisy straight into the ground.
Probably a good idea, yeah.
So
I think the prevalence of Ivan and Annie, have probably gone. I feel like how that works.
Yeah.
So it kind of sucks.
I think that's fair. Like it felt kind of bad to play those champions and just have your Tibbers or Daisy just smite it into the ground immediately with 1200 true damage. But
yeah, that kind of sucks.
Maokai's clear has been hit a little bit. His Q's bonus damage.
He's still going to be super powerful, honestly. I think Maokai is just such a disgusting champion. It's not even necessarily about just the power of the champion. It's about the amount of setup and frontline you can provide, and giving an angle into these AD mid laners.
He's such a toolbox champion because he gives you everything that you could possibly want.
For sure.
From a jungler.
Definitely.
Right, yeah, we're waiting for the last player to filter in.
I'm excited for some flexes. I think there's going to be a lot of flexes available.
Yeah.
Which I really like for the meta at the minute. It's very different to how the MSI meta was.
Okay, we're waiting for all draft. There it is. Boom. Let's hit F11. Make that full screen. Fantastic. Oh, it's
link. Here we go. Just read it wrong. Here we are. Oh, it's exciting. I'm always excited coming into this. I wonder if you'll see any priority on Kale. I can't imagine you want to blind it, but maybe your fight is just that confident. I know Coastline. I spoke to Boy from Coastline recently, asking him how he's feeling about the games. They're feeling very confident. Apparently, last time they played LAGA, it was a 2-1 to LAGA, but Coastline did have a substitute AD carry. So they said, Boy said, looking to 2-0 today. So very exciting. Been screwing Division 2 teams. So they've got the practice in.
Looks like they've been putting the time in, which you can definitely appreciate at this level. I'm excited to go. It's interesting what you mentioned about the Kale. Is that she's, again, in my obviously humble opinion,
for sure,
she's a lot more blindable than people give her credit for. Like, I still don't think you want to blind her in this scenario.
I think at this level, Kale is very punishable, especially when you're playing five-man teams on comms. I think in solo queue, for sure, it's definitely a lot easier to blind Kale. But
I think it depends on the person you're playing against. Early.
Well, this is true. If you're playing against a tank, like, it's kind of whatever.
She is diveable, and I think her, like, obviously you have such a weakness early when it comes to wave clear. Like you said, that level 3 sort of early dive.
Yeah.
It's so easy to pick a pushing top and a strong diving jungler. Just have your top laner shove her under the tower, level 3, level 4, turn up, and you just kill her.
That's it.
Like, that is obviously very viable, but I feel like at the moment she's a bit of a Nasus when it comes to if you're playing Kale, you sort of have to kill her early If
Yeah,
you
just
let
the
her,
inevitability.
yeah, if you let her sit there and scale and you don't completely blast her at the start of the game, you're going to be in trouble. So
You do have the benefit that if you don't blind her, you still will probably get priority in that lane to begin with.
yeah, for
Looks
sure.
like we've started draft though. We're going into the first bans. We'll see what takes advantage. LAGA on blue side, so we'll see
Not
if
yet.
they respect stuff like the. Not yet.
Not
Sorry,
just yet.
I saw their banner go big. We'll see if LAGA have as high priority as Bergman's did on the Zac ban against Entropy. Big Zac play, we've seen him do work on that one
Yeah,
before.
we saw that in every game of the last series, didn't we?
Yeah, high priority on the Zac ban. I think it's one of Entropy's big picks, but
I find it really interesting the way a lot of teams in this division, how they sort of look into the draft philosophy and whether they go for meta bans or target bans or it's been really interesting to see how teams have made their decisions on how to approach the draft.
We've seen teams generally take away one-trick champions or their people's best champions, but maybe that's not to throw any shade on any of the teams because they've all been playing their hearts out. But teams that have been struggling tend to fall back on their big champions. AG were falling back on stuff like Aurelion Sol.
Olaf.
Just take those away and take the comfort away. And those teams will. I mean, the idea is they start to flounder a little bit.
It's that decision, isn't it, of towing the line between banning away meta champions that are just really strong at the moment. Like take Kai'Sa for an example. You don't have to one-trick Kai'Sa to play Kai'Sa quite well at the moment.
Exactly.
She's a very strong champion. She's very flexible. She can multi-role. She can flex really easily. So you have those like Rel, another multi-role champion, really flexible, really really strong. But none of these people are Rel one-tricks. So it's
Victor's
teams...
been playing a lot of Rel, but I know what you mean. You don't.
Yeah.
It's not a champion you need to one-trick like Aurelion Sol.
Yeah, so it's going to be really interesting to see how the angle that they take towards how they face the draft.
Yeah. I think despite the nerfs, I wouldn't mind seeing an Ivan ban come out from LAGA. Entropy been playing a lot of that. Quite a. You can build your team around Ivan.
Yes.
If I'm being honest, though, going from a meta point of view, it's really easy on red side to just go something like Jace Maokai still, Tristana Maokai, pick an AD mid laner, pick an AP jungler, especially when Coastline have been playing stuff like Gragas, Karthus, Taliyah. Taliyah will want a bit more setup probably in the mid lane or top lane or somewhere, but
you're a big Taliyah fan, I know.
I'm a big Taliyah fan in ARAM. I've not played it much in Summoner's Rift. I played it mid in Summoner's Rift a couple of times to somewhat good effect.
We're in
my elo, but here we go.
B1 from LAGA.
See where the bands go. I think the bands will tell a big picture on what angle these teams are taking.
There it is, just as you called. B1 Ivan taken away.
Very powerful pick. They've done their homework. Entropy's been playing that a lot. We don't know much about LAGA, so I think Coastline will have to do the research for us for a lot. We've only got a small amount of match history. We've not seen any of their games. Going to take away the Melio. I like it.
Another really strong support that we've seen. We've seen quite a lot of ban representation in the last few series that we've cast.
I've not actually seen as much Melio in pro play though as I would have liked, or as I would have thought I would see. Maybe he got hit by some nerfs that I'm unaware of, but it's been a lot more about engaging. I think it's all about this mid 2v2 and transition into these map rotations where you get these early heralds, you get these early dragons, and kind of snowball from there.
Oh, there's a Taliyah takeaway.
So we are going for target bans on the side of LAGA, taking away.
And that is a strategy that we know can work. Like you said, you can put people out of their comfort zone if there's something they're incredibly confident on. They've proved works well in the past. Take it away, and give yourself a little bit of a mental advantage in that lane.
I think if LAGA are going down this angle, it looks like they're banning magic damage junglers. So if they take something like a Maokai, for example, obviously, like I said, big power pick with Jace or other AD mid laners. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a Maokai takeaway if they're just trying to hit Entropy hard.
Nothing on the Kai'Sa so far, so maybe LAGA are looking to pick that first rotation.
It's so powerful, isn't it, still with Static Shiv?
Really.
I don't know what Static Shiv's like on the current patch. I've not actually played a lot of Summer's Rift. It's been all 2v2. So there's not a lot of stack shiv in that game mode, but I expect it's still very powerful.
Oh, one amusing thing that they've finally sorted from this patch, I will say, is they fixed the interaction between Stack Shiv and Night Harvester.
Right.
Thankfully, that's gone. Being able to proc Night Harvester from 1,000 range away by zapping someone through the minion wave was a little bit disgusting. So I think that might be the death knell for Static Shiv LeBlanc, because that interaction was something that was really hinging a lot on Static Shiv LeBlanc's power, being able to proc Night Harvester from so far away. Tristana taken away, B3.
So trying to deny those AD mid laners, but we'll see if LAGA picks up something like the Jace, I guess, on blue side. They'll have the priority pick if they want it. Kind of expect them to take the Rel. There it is. So Rel
that
flex.
Does leave Kai'Sa, Jace, Maokai, all these big names, these hard hitters are open.
Yeah, something. I mean, it's such an easy rotation. Something like Maokai, Jace to come through with a Kai'Sa on 3 or a Xayah on 3. They're going for the Xayah actually.
Yeah, pretty good
on the second pick. So maybe looking for a Xayah Rakan. I wonder if LAGA will take the Rakan away, but I will kill the flex on the Rel.
Xayah's one of those champions as well that's sort of crept up in popularity over the last couple of months. We've seen a bit more of it, just incredibly safe AD carry, but also able to dish out an astonishing amount of damage once Quick Blades is up.
Definitely.
Really, you don't want to be caught by those feathers on the way back in.
I love it. I love a Xayah Rakan there.
Misfortune. Beautiful.
That is not what I expected.
Now, in the early game, Misfortune is able to go toe-to-toe with Xayah quite handily, while she still doesn't have as many points in her E, but definitely doesn't scale quite as hard. It'd be interesting to see whether he goes down the lethality route with Duskblade Axiomark, or going down the... You've got to think it's got to be full crit. I
expect LAGA will be... Go on, sorry. Go.
Oh, Jarvan. This is a champion that I have been shocked that we haven't seen more of recently.
That will kill the Rel flex, I imagine, unless it's something weird like the Jarvan support. It could be, I guess, but we'll see. It looks like LAGA are leaning towards big team fight comps, these wombo combos, Jarvan ult into Misfortune ult, or Rel to Misfortune ult. So
yeah, they're going for the lockdown.
Go for this mid game. Yeah, that's it. Xayah Rakan, there it is though. See where these bands go.
Very stable bot side, so leaves mid, hanging up mid and top. I'm interested to see which one Coastline goes for when it comes to the counter pick. Which one? I
imagine it will be top lane.
I think top lane's easier to blind.
With you kind of they're playing stuff like the Mundo and the Kale as these kind of trump cards. I won't be surprised if they leave top to last and just pick a blind mid lane.
As you were saying beforehand as well, with the prevalence of how important the 2v2 skirmish is as well, I think having that strong champion who has the wave control in the mid lane is probably a little bit more important.
Yeah, Jay's still open, I will say.
Poppy taken away.
Coastline.
Poppy's an absolute terror. That champion is not okay.
Poppy is kind of strong right now.
She is.
I really want to see a Jace ban, honestly, from LAGA. It's such an easy pickup for Coastline. Makes Mundo and Kale still easy pickups on the top side as well. If
Gwen as well.
We'd want to go that side. Yeah, Gwen as
well. Another very blindable champion. If you've taken the Jace, there it is.
Jace.
Very good. So again, I'm not sure, but we've got the whole Ari Lissandra trade-off that we could see in the mid lane. Definitely a possibility. Do you know what I want to see? I want to see...
What's that?
I want to see an Alawi.
You want to see Alawi?
I love that champion. She's not good.
Wow.
Like in this format, she's a solo queue pub stomper, but I love some Alawi.
Looking at Zuka's recent games, it looks like they've got some reasonable blinds, like the Syndra, if Coastline do want to try and counter pick mid. Game on Talia, game on both Wind Brothers actually, which would be a pretty good combo with Jarvan if they really want to go something like Yone again for those big team fights.
R5 Aatrox into B5 Azir, so Coastline going for the top side bans on R4 R5. LAGA going for the mid lane bans.
Yeah, I think LAGA trying to take away any range advantage that Coastline could get. Obviously, team fight comps very explosive, but you get poked out beforehand with something like an Jace or an Azir. It makes it a lot harder to fight if you just get killed on the way in. See where Coastline go. It's the Rumble pickup. I love the Rumble pickup here.
Fantastic. Just gives it a little bit more. Again, though, that does push them more towards them having to go for an AD mid.
I was going to say that. I don't know what they've got left. There's Jace something like...
We could see the Renekton mid.
That's Renekton cropped up a couple of times. Possibly. It's so bad into a lot of mid laners, though.
Yeah,
it very much
play
depends.
that
I mean,
Syndra.
admittedly, if LAGA do go something like a Yone and Yasuo, it's a really free pickle. But there's going to be the Syndra.
So probably not a Renekton mid.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to be playing a Renekton into that
Not
one.
really. But obviously Yasuo quite decent into Syndra, to be honest. Like, you got the wind wall timing. You can.
I think both brothers could be. I don't know if
Yone less good.
Boy plays it though. Just looking at his match history.
Oh, everyone plays it. Everyone can play Yasuo. Champ's easy.
I will say it might be because flexes and they're trying to flex something like that. There are
Forge God.
Malphites and Cho'Gaths.
Forge God's going to land on the Rift as well.
Yeah, I mean, look at LAGA's comp. It's all about front-to-back team fights. They're just looking for Jarvan flank into a big wombo combo just to one-shot all of Coastline. So I just make that a bit more difficult, but...
Honestly,
yeah,
I could see this being a Duskblade Misfortune into Coastline's team.
I like it. They're just looking for big damage.
Not really a significant front line. Obviously, Maokai's going to be quite tanky, but probably going for like the Radiant Virtue.
Yeah.
Okay,
the Ahri,
so a lot of magic damage.
It's going to be on Boytang to, on Boytang to really put out the tank damage in this comp. A lot of weight on him, but does have the ult and does have the Rakan for safety, so it's not impossible. Xayah very powerful and stuff like the Ornn and the Jarvan because you can just pop that the ult and you're just fine. But
they're definitely sitting on a situation where LAGA's backline access is really flank dependent. I think
I actually don't know if it is.
You don't think
they can't? They definitely can't run straight at people. But if they have one person on the flank and four on the front, I think it's pretty easy. You know, these flash ults from Rel, Ornn ult, like you can engage from pretty far away and follow up on Call of the Forge God pretty easy. But I think LAGA have been smart though, in that yes, Coastline have a Xayah, but they've really overloaded on the engage. So sure, she can ult something, but you're just going to get hit by the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. So Coastline are going to have to do a really good job of peeling these kind of non-committal engages, these long-range engages, try and keep Boytang safe.
I'm going to be interested to see in this Xayah's itemization choices, because obviously she wants to go for the Navori Quick Blades. But I think Gale Force could be an opportunity. Now, it has been nerfed this patch, so it's now 120 second cooldown, which is quite significantly higher than the 90 seconds it was at before. But just having that extra sort of get out... I mean, you can even Gale Force out of Cataclysm, Jarvan, if you're quick enough about it.
I guess, yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
Does it have the range to actually do that?
Yeah, you can do it. You can absolutely Gale... You have to max range Gale Force right as he lands on your head, but it is doable. I've done it before.
Yeah.
Feels really good when you do that as well. Almost as good as Gale forcing a Malphite ult. That feels great.
I expect this is going to be flash cleanse from Xayah. Yeah. Everything's on her head. You know, the Rumblari sure do a lot of damage.
Although you say all that, right? But the only thing she can cleanse is Syndra EQ.
Well, she can cleanse that EQ. She can cleanse the Rel Q as well, and that might just be enough to just want to get out of that. Being able to cleanse the Syndra EQ as well might just be enough. You need to be able to pop that ult.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think
you're just going to be dead.
I think regardless, I think cleanse is probably the safest bet in this scenario. Just the combination, if she does go Gale Force, between cleanse, Gale Force, and her ult, Xayah is so slippery. Especially when the moment you touch her, you've got Rakan flying at your face, charming you.
Yeah, another question is, what would you go outside of cleanse? You know, heal into this dive is going to be a little bit effective, but mostly in the early game. Ghost is only going to get you so far, though, into these flanks.
Oh, Ghost changes this patch as well.
There's not going to be a lot of timing, but... Oh, there's no reset, is there?
It's no reset, it's just 15 seconds, yeah. Which a lot of players I have seen of saying it's actually better in a lot of scenarios. Because you can now
pop... the 1v1, it's
you can now pop it earlier, which is really important. So, whereas before... you'd have to sort of reactively pop Ghost when you knew a fight was about to start and hope that you could get a takedown to extend it. Now you can preemptively Ghost because you've got that extra 5 seconds of time. So it's going to be interesting to see, but I'm fairly certain you're going to be right, and we're going to see cleanse on the Xayah.
Your emperor shall return.
I honestly don't really like the Ahri that much here.
I'm not a big fan, but they kind of cornered themselves with this Rumble pick.
Yeah.
I like Rumble, but I think when you're playing triple AP topside, Merc Treads there's a lot of value.
Into an Ornn as well.
Ornn, Syndra gives you so much Merc Treads angle, especially into the Rakan as well with the Charm and the root from Xayah.
Like, it wouldn't surprise me to see this Ornn go for something like an early Abyssal Mask. That I'm so cheap.
That'd make a lot of sense.
Makes Ornn so tanky. It's less good with an AD jungler, but I think it scales really well as a first item.
I think early on, I want to see LAGA try and target this mid lane somewhere. Syndra Jarvan is such a powerful 2v2, and before Ahri gets level 6, she's relatively squishy. I wouldn't be surprised to see a cleanse, honestly, from Boy either on the Ahri.
Yeah, absolutely.
Into Syndra, Jarvan. Just need to be able to get away.
It could be a very easy first blood if the EQ lands straight into the flag combo of Jarvan.
Try and blow the flash early, get a repeat gank pre-level 6. Could be pretty easy, even post-level 6 with a Syndra burst. It's very doable. But we'll see. We'll see. Entropy, if we think back to the Bergman's game for Coastline, very good at tracking the enemy jungler, so maybe able to counteract these Jarvan ganks.
I think Jarvan is kind of criminally underused at the moment. I think he's actually in a really good spot right now. He's another multifunction jungler that sort of, his build paths are very fluid. He can build a lot of things depending on the situation. And
very adaptable. Sure.
Yeah, and he sort of never falls off as well. Like,
he's also always going to have an impact.
Yeah, he's not a jungler
like a damage.
Yeah, but he's not like an Olaf where his only job is damage, or a Renekton where his only job is where he just doesn't scale that hard. Like, you're always going to be able to cataclysm someone.
I think the problem Jarvan's found is there's just other junglers that are so powerful right now, with stuff like Maokai and Sejuani being really prevalent.
That's a good point, actually. This is something that I was going to say earlier, and then it just escaped my brain immediately, that we didn't see a pick or a ban of Sejuani, which has been such a high prior champion in the recent series.
I think LAGA came in with an idea in mind, especially seeing these first 3 picks in the first round of picks. Really gives you an idea of where their head's at. They just want a team fight in front to back.
I mean, if LAGA execute their team comp correctly, which I've no doubt they'll be able to be successsul, it's devastating.
The AoE is huge.
If Coastline stack up for a split second in the wrong place, they're going to get rel comboed, Jarvan flag, Cataclysm, Call of the Forge God straight into bullet time, and you're just all dead. There's Coastline are going to have to space incredibly well to avoid that. It's probably going to make for some really explosive fights around Baron and Drake as well.
I think Coastline will have to be very careful on side lanes as well. There's a lot of long-range engage with Flag and Dragon to Cataclysm or the Call of the Forge God. Even Rel, Flash W with your ult, you can engage from a long way away. Probably take an X-Flash as well, so he even extends that.
As the tier 1s start to fall as well, it's only really Ahri who can safely push out. Rumble's not a very safe pick to side lane on. He's got decent wave clear, but he can't do anything if he gets caught out. Like, his best bet would be to go Rocket Belt and try and Rocket Belt away.
You've got to run with your scrap shield.
Like, into a Jarvan? Really difficult to get away with that.
Pretty hard to get away. That's the thing.
I think side lane is going to be difficult. It wouldn't surprise me to see Coastline, after taking tier 1 in bot lane, rotate their AD carry mid, take the mid lane tier 1, and then put him back in a side lane, because I think Xayah Rakan in a side lane is a lot safer than a Rumble.
Is Xayah a static shift champion?
It can be,
because
not
if that
commonly.
Is the case, honestly, this game, I wouldn't hate it. Being able to put Xayah mid and put the Ahri in a side lane, I think, would be a really good bet for Coastline.
Xayah tends to not need a static shiv, because once she has 3 or 4 points in a
This is true. That's true, yeah.
The QE combo will delete a wave most of the time anyway.
That's very true. This is why we have you here, You're the AD carry player.
Misfortune, I have seen static shiv on her, because she does suffer with less than stellar wave clear.
I don't think we'll see a static shiv from Misfortune. I think the Misfortune is going to need to do big ult damage. That's what I'm thinking.
That is the other... Misfortune has gone first strike. That is really interesting. So obviously does have the range advantage with the E.
Yeah. the extra ult as well. That
Yeah, the
first
true
strike
damage.
for sure gives you gold, but 10% bonus damage. That's pretty good.
Look, it's working.
The game's working.
The
It's
game's
just working.
working. Enormous
Okay, just to sync up real quick, I'm at 7, 8,
yeah,
9.
spot on.
Perfect. We are just so good.
Look at this.
Zoom.
We're highly
I've even
professional.
got the zoom down.
Yeah, that Control Shift Z for anyone wondering.
Yeah. It's not working for some reason.
Right, so do you think we'll see any early action? We know we've seen some 5-man stacks in Tribush a few times, but looks like a 5-point defense from both sides.
Neither team has insane level ones. Rel's probably your best bet, Rel and Rakan, but neither team has great setups. Like
and he's spotted Entropy with the flag.
Yeah.
He's looking for that long wall.
Just get that Q. There it is.
Back.
I don't think it'll mean too much, honestly.
Thumbs up from Entropy there.
A little bit of damage, but I know where he starts.
So what do you think we'll see topside starts from both junglers? We got a blue ward going down on the red buff there from Andy.
I think this Jarvan will want to probably start bot side and go mid level 3.
Looks like he's pathing top.
Maybe we'll go 2 buffs plus 1 camp into mid.
Looks like
start
Ornn's
blue
gonna
and get red.
Is this leashes? I don't know if we've seen that many leashes. We got a late invade coming down from Coastline here.
I like this. I think Coastline will want to split map. If anyone wants to do it, Coastline will want to, because this Xayah is very high priority for them. If they can get the Xayah ahead, it doesn't matter so much that there's not so much AD damage from their side. If both magic damage dealers do a little bit less damage and the AD is more, then it'll balance their damage output a little bit.
Really interesting, yeah. Double leash as well. I know some teams have been going leashless with a lot of these first clears, but interesting to see.
Both junglers starting top side, so Entropy may be looking to cover a mid or a bot gank.
Quite a volatile bot side for both teams, to be honest. With the level 2 can be a first blood.
I'm somewhat surprised that Jarvan's gone for this full top side clear. Maybe he's going to be looking for a mid gank now, but I really want him to.
Level 2 comes in for LAGA there.
Mid lane early.
Xayah has got the ghost as well. I know he suggested it, but I'm actually surprised.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they thought the same as you, that maybe Cleanse has less value because there's only a couple of things you can get out of. But I think it's so important to get out of those specific 2 things.
Yeah, for sure.
And maybe we'll see a Mikhails or something from Vicar as a replacement.
We'll have to see if that bites him in the ass in the future. I did notice Axe's son, Azka's son, did go put that deep ward onto the red buff there of Coastline. Junglers are going to bump into each other in Tribush down the bot side, so you were right about them covering for that early aggression.
I always thought Jarvan would play around mid, but maybe they're just looking to shut down this Xayah. Andy knows they're not there because he's swept. Firstly engaged from Coastline though. Andy going in, forces the flash out of the Xayah, but Maokai's here. Engages onto the Jarvan, he's going to go very low. The pullback from the feathers is huge, and Entropy takes first blood. Flash forward from EP Joe though. Boytang's going to go down probably. There it is, so a trade of kills. First blood though, over to Coastline.
A 1-for-1 in the end. However, I can't help but feel LAGA came on top out of that one a little bit ahead, given that the kill went onto their AD carry.
True, I mean, it kills onto Maokai. You can't underestimate it.
Yeah,
He's
absolutely.
got the phase rush over the first strike, which I'm somewhat surprised of. But Hicks flash as well on Maokai. I've not seen that very often.
Big damage coming out of Ugandan fighter. He's really putting the heat down onto Rick, quite literally.
Rumble. Early on, I find Rumble struggles a little bit into the all matchup, but come at this point, if you can get a reset in now, going up to level 6, that Q Flame Spitter's going to do a lot of damage and a lot of work.
Given the fact that he's got up to, I think it's a 30% magic resist shred if he hits both E's as well.
It's huge. It's really shred through this Ornn.
Very terrifying.
But Ornn, always going to be relevant, as we know.
He's another evergreen champion.
That's
you can never really put an Ornn behind.
That's it.
He's still going to call the Forge God you from half a screen away. Not a full screen away.
Yeah, full screen away.
Have a little sip of my Red Bull.
Try a little bit, so think of Call of the Forge God coming from past where they can see.
Oh no. Remember people, don't be a lock cam gamer.
I just noticed that Boy's been forced that lane already. The TP's been used, so Zuka getting the better in this 1v1. He's going a little low. Andy's looking for the gank,
cover.
though. This is the pre-level 6 we were talking about.
There it
Zuka
is.
can blow a flash. Might not even get a chance to flash. Andy was having to follow, but there's the flash. Can they land the Q? He's going to get out.
Gets out with it.
But that's really rough for Boy. Flash and TP blown without Zuka even needing the TP. So TP advantage over to Laga's mid laner.
He's closing
Boy's going to really struggle. It's
2 waves down as well.
Yeah, he's going to lose a lot here. XP is going to be big as well. So I won't be surprised to see a repeat gank from Andy.
Now that the flash is down, you've got to think Boy's got to play incredibly careful.
That's it, especially pre-level 6. I don't know, just have a look how close they are to level 6. They're about halfway there, but it's going to be probably a couple waves.
You've got to
All in
call
from
down
Rick
to the
and
top side.
Forces Ugandan's flash out. Goes low, but I don't think he's got much left in the tank.
Oh,
Flash
no.
forward from Rick, and I think he's going to fall
Not like
down though.
this.
Ugandan fighter lives with the hairs of his head, teeth, skin of his teeth.
That was sub 20 HP,
hair
by
on
the
his
way.
head? What?
Sub 20 HP.
I'm not sure what I was going for there, but something about hair and teeth.
I feel
Slightly
it, yeah. Teeth and nail,
Yeah.
I think you were saying.
Tooth and nail
The
and
skin of his hair.
teeth.
That's it.
And something about hairs on his chin, maybe?
Yep. Not by
Who
the
knows?
hairs on his...
We're still getting used to this.
Yeah.
I'm reaching.
We are the absolute epitome of amateurs. And do you know what? We're here for it.
The epitome of amateurs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Like he said, the Rumble might be going for the Night Harvester, perhaps? That Fiendish Codex in, and the
Could be.
Amptome. It could be Rocket Belt, I
Seems with a
suppose.
Fancy few in the middle.
I'm not a mage
too.
player, so I can't honestly tell you what mage items build out of. Who knows? If it's not an AD champion, I just don't want to know about it.
It'll be Night Harvester or Proto Belt, but they
Ooh,
build out very
Charm
similar
Lance.
things.
Very
Lance
nice.
Boy, but doesn't have the Orb. Is it Orb of Deception on Ari? I feel like it is, right? Q?
Orb of Deception,
Yeah. Nice. Huge.
Pretty big.
Ooh. Zuka's still winning out on these trades, these QE combos. Just catching Boy right in the face, to be
Yeah.
honest.
That hurts. Syndra's a bit of a nightmare for me. Every time I try to lane mid into a Syndra, I find it so difficult to lane into. Let me lane into a Zed any day of the week.
Oh. I have just noticed this bot lane CS gap. Misfortune Rail making Zyra Khan's life
20
hellish
CS
by looks
currently.
things. 20 CS down.
I was going to say, when I saw the MF come out, I know that I've played this matchup before, and in the early game, it's real rough for Zyra to deal with anything. The strut from Misfortune makes Rakan engaging on her just so much more difficult.
I was going to say, playing these early levels is probably pretty easy for the Misfortune with Burst Strike and the E.
It's so fast. Like,
Be able to sit back and farm.
you almost have to hope for a feather root from Zyra first to guarantee that the CC from Rakan can land, because that MF...
Pretty difficult to get that one though, with the Rel right in your face.
She do
Not
be
easy
strutting.
to walk into.
You got a Herald spawn up. It looks like Coastline are first up to the line there.
Rotation. Moving Vicar up to the top side as well to make sure this one should be an easy takeaway.
You got a
And
freeze
he's on the
coming in
bot
from
side,
Zuka as
so
well, so
should be
not
free.
interested in regaining prio for that. It looks like they're just going to take it away with Andy being in the bot side.
Yeah, nice moves from Coastline. First on the punch there.
Very nice.
Very good.
Vicar and Boy have both turned up to guarantee a secure as well. It's an easy takeaway.
Yeah.
However,
Looks like LAGA are going to prioritise the dragon though.
yeah, Andy's
So,
moved on
I
to
don't
the
think
Cloud Soul.
They're going to be able to be in time to contest it. EP Joe waiting in the wings, try and make something happen, just covering his jungler. But should be.
3-man stack in the mid lane to crash this
relatively
wave in.
easy takeaway.
So
Although,
they're moving.
3-man moving down, it looks like Andy's going to be forced off.
Askason needs to be a little bit careful here.
I thought Askason would have moved up honestly into this dragon to try and get it taken away, but I guess Coastline's going to get their cake and eat it here as they get both objectives.
That's
Pretty much uncontested. LAGA moving in, but I don't think there's going to be much to do as Andy's just not in position to contest. Went a little bit low from trying to solo the Drake, so that's just Coastline getting ahead.
That's money in the bank from them there. However,
Despite...
even gold. Almost dead on.
Yep. I was going to say, despite the CS leads in the bottom mid, even gold.
Got about 500
From
gold in the top lane.
Herald takeaway.
Coastline, but that's sort of balanced out by 600 gold on the AD carries in favour of LAGA, so a little bit of a discrepancy knocking about. Nothing too dramatic for the time being though, but that objective advantage is something that LAGA are going to have to watch out so that doesn't spiral out of control.
Is there a way to see runes in this?
Yeah, press C.
See. See.
You can look.
Yeah, so I thought the Rumble topside advantage would be from first strike. It's only getting around 140 gold now, so I'm not sure where that's come from. Maybe just cannons being taken, I suppose?
Got the kill as well.
Oh, yes, of course it's the kill. Yeah, never mind, that's where it's come from.
The damage coming out from the Ugandan fighters.
That's the damage, but the Ricken...
Unbelievable.
The equalizer is available if Uganda fighter wants it.
Oh,
the Orb coming out, though. Doesn't have the flash to follow it. Good flash from Uganda fighter to dodge it, though. Maybe you can turn this one, though. Can he get the clap,
his flash
though?
is on a few seconds cooldown
so
as well.
With the W, though, the scratch shield might save his life, and I think Ricken might be dead. He's so low. Both top laners going sub 100. Gets out the skin of his teeth.
And he's on his way, though.
Flashes up from on in a few seconds, though. We'll see if he wants to use that to try and get the kill. I don't know if Q flash will be enough, though, now.
I think W flash will. And he's here, though, and he's got Cataclysm.
Oh, this could
This
just
is
be
just
the
a
end for Uganda fight. We'll see if
Cataclysm
Andy wants to go
there.
for it. There it is. Flash Cataclysm.
What can you
Easy
do?
peasy. There's nothing you can do.
Nothing you can do about that.
You just die.
Boy, however,
290 damage
is
crit.
making moves.
Oh.
Thinking about it.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna. Maybe just looking to cover the tower to see if they went for it, but they didn't in the end. He's gonna lose out a bit of CS on this move as well. Almost 40 CS advantage for Zuka now.
Also still got a 25-ish CS advantage in the bot lane for Azkasun as well.
600 gold advantage in the mid lane despite no kills. So just perfect CS, 113 at 11 minutes.
Really, really good CS numbers there.
It's a clinic.
Baker would be proud.
Clinic on how to go even and get ahead.
Looks like we are getting Duskblade Misfortune as well, so they're going for that maximum team fight ultimate damage. Oh, bullet time does come out.
Speaking of which, the boy tang just getting blasted by the bullet time. I guess I'm going to be able to pick up a plate. Rooted by boy tang, but Entropy is here to cover. Might be able to take the blast plant and an ult. We'll see. Will the ult come out? Vicar is here, so I think Azkasun could be in a lot of trouble.
Available.
Cleanse and flash available though.
Oh, very nice.
It might be enough.
Boys here is TP'd.
Boys here though, TP flank. Azkasun going 200 health, but looks like they're both going to be able to get away with their lives as everyone's shown up here in a big 5v5. Vicar stun will be able to pick up the kill. Entropy now in trouble, goes down. Can Boytang get out? Looks like they can. Somehow Azkasun gets out, but EP Joe trades his life for his AD carries.
Explosive fights going out, but LAGA just coming out on top there. Double kill for Zuka in the mid lane as well. And Vicar once more flashes in.
It's flash forward from Rakan. Gets the kill and gets out. So I'd trade flash for that kill every day, for sure.
Absolutely. Vicar's sitting on the
that mythic, you know.
Yeah, Vicar's sitting on the Hex Flash as well, so he's not going to be hurting for that. In the meantime, Ugandan fighters just taking plates in the top side.
Yeah, it's 1200 gold advantage now for this Rumble.
Already got his Night Harvester.
I mean, Night Harvester. He had that on his most recent base as well.
Youmuu's for MF.
Yeah, I almost mentioned that before the fight broke out. Youmuu's just gives so much lethality and damage. I think it's the item that maximizes your ult, just straight up. So
yeah, when those
just
ghost
really
shards are stacked up as well, which MF stacks them really quickly with the bonus move speed from Struck.
So fast.
He is gonna hurt.
Reckon Slayer out from Boytang, so no static shiv. Not to be surprised after your comment, but
I am going to be interested to see whether the next item is Gale Force or Quick Blades. I feel like it's probably Quick Blades. I think that item is incredibly powerful on Saya, given how
that's usual pick.
She's very dependent on her abilities, and just having them up all the time is so insane.
Very cooldown based AD carry.
Honestly, Reckons, despite the early death, he's holding his own in this top lane. I think he's doing quite well.
He's quite a bit down in gold, but that's down to the advantage you got on the bot side for the TP. Is Coastline looking to overload this bot side for the second Drake? Maybe just looking to stack them, put a bit of pressure on LAGA from the Soul point of view as Andy makes his way up to contest.
Give us your Gamba on what the Soul's going to be.
Ooh, what have we had so far?
Cloud. Oh, Boy's just deleted in the middle.
Oh my god, as I'm looking at Drake's, Boy's just one-shot by Zuka. Massive amount of damage, I didn't even realise. Got the alternator as well.
Fighter as well.
Forge got Uganda in trouble. Uganda fighter's in trouble there now. EQ from Zuka. Should be an easy kill. Can they give it over? They do. So
just dead.
2 kills over to Zuka just like that. 4-0 now on the Syndra, plus the Dragon to boot.
Nice. It's starting to look really good for Coastline, and then over the space of 30 seconds, a series of unfortunate events occurred.
Oh my god, Boytang's now in trouble. Does have the ult and flash though, so should be able to get out for this one. We'll see. There's the ult. But EP Joe with the great engage to follow the ult.
Don't know if he gets out of this one.
The bullet storm.
Always going to pop the spirit rush.
Free prize. There it is. EP Joe going to go down to electrocute. Did we see the Herald dropped, by the way, from Coastline? I can't actually remember if I saw it being dropped. I don't think they got it down. I think it just timed out.
That is a good point.
I don't think they got to utilise it. That is a big shame for Coastline's point of view.
Yeah, all towers are unheralded.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks like
going down.
It's just a waste. Yeah, first tower dropped. T1 in the mid lane.
I have to imagine Entropy got caught or killed right as they were about to thinking of using it. Not sure what happened there.
Gandon fighters battling a 2v1 on the top side, but it looks like Andy's going to leave.
We're getting some pings from Entropy with this 550 gold bounty on the Syndra, which is huge, by the way, at this point in the game.
You're going to spot EPGO.
Some moves on her.
He's going to use the crash down to get himself out of danger.
Pharaohmancy
slash crash down, I should say.
Yep. Rail's so slippery with that crash down and the shield you get from it.
Really is, yeah. Very, very cool champion. I'm glad she's in a comfortable spot in the meta because I think she's a great champion.
She's so cool, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's just,
who doesn't want a mech horse suit of armor? Like, come on.
That's it.
Again, another brawl in the top lane.
Ricken's going real low though. Equalizer available and no flash on the Ornn. Can he get the Call of Forge gun in time?
That's a lot of damage!
Can he get the damage down though? He takes it! 1v1's the Rumble in the Ornn Rumble matchup. Who could have seen that coming?
Radiant Virtue putting in absolute work in that fight.
Barely gets him to safety. I think it literally made the difference.
Yeah. Definitely did.
Life or death by the Radiant Virtue. Man, I really thought Uganda's fight would be taken that, but yeah. Just gets caught by too many brittle procs. As 3 members on bot side, TP coming in as well from Boy. Oh no, it's from, never mind, it's from Ricken.
Atkinson.
I think Entropy may have gone
really
a little bit
putting out
there.
the damage there.
A little bit eager from Entropy there. Just gets collapsed on 4 members. I think they took the blast cone as well, so no real way out without the flash.
Herald number 2 is being dropped in the bot lane.
Down, so that's going to be the second tier 1 taken down for the LAGA. Should make it a lot easier to move around these maps.
Charged.
Try and get the crash on the tier 2. Bot lane just hiding in this bush, but Misfortune Make It Rain's going to catch them out.
Gandon fighters beating away at the top tier 1 at the time being.
Flank, but he's been spotted. Is he going to crash? I think it should.
No.
Oh, he gets it. Vicky gets the auto on the eye, so there you go. Another Herald waster. That's 2 Heralds with no real impact.
Ugandan fighter really starting to feel the Ornn pain here.
Ornn's so
more and more unfavourable trades.
With Grasp and the ult, just has so much all-in potential.
Those brittle procs. Really
starting in the mids. Boy Tank taking so much damage. I think it's just gonna be a one-shot. He gets to 1 HP without even the ult. So, I mean, how much health does he have? What is that? 1500?
1500 health, yeah.
So he's just taking 1400 damage, you're telling me, from one combo without an ult from the Syndra. This Syndra is just
sitting on 2 items now.
Menace.
4 stacks on the Dark Seal as well. He's possibly going to bump into Boy
Shadow
here.
Doing a lot of work.
He's 2 levels down.
Some good damage down on Ugandan fighter. You have to be so careful, don't you, with that cleanse against the Syndra.
Such a long-range engage as well. You've got to know exactly where she is at all times. You can't be walking around the jungle when she's there.
As much as she's immobile, these mages that are immobile tend to have a lot of burst. So you've got to be real careful face checking into them or even just engaging on them.
Third Drake about to spawn as well, and it looks like LAGA have got the jump on this one for the time being. Still about a minute to go. One apiece for both teams now.
So much priority on these objectives now. With the 5v5 team fighters, Ricken getting caught out. He's forced to flash by Entropy. You're going to fight. It does have the equalizer if he wants to go for it. Caught by Vicar as well. Great cancel on the E. See if we can get out. No flash though, but great ult coming through from Kusan, getting so much damage down. Killing spree now for Misfortune. He's caught by Vicar's battle dance though. Boytang getting ulted by the Jarvan. Big damage coming down from Zuka. There is instant double kill from the W. Entropy now being chased down. Can the Jarvan slow be enough? It looks like it's gonna be.
Oh,
and
God.
And he's still going. Boy's now in trouble. It could just be a 5-0. Looks like Boy will get out with a charm, but Zuka's here. Can he land the combo? There it is, I hold my breath. Boy goes down. It's a clean ace for LAGA.
Quadra kill for Zuka as well. He's now 8-0 on the Syndra. Fully stacked Dark Seal. Acusun walks away at a sliver of health and starts wailing on the tier 2 tower. Really not looking good for Coastline now.
Yeah, 7,000 gold advantage. All tier 1s about to be dropped. Tier 2 in the mid lane as well, I think, by the looks of things. So, yeah, this 5v5 team fight working out for LAGA just as they'd hoped.
Things have gone incredibly awry for them now.
Yeah. Making moves now on the dragon. That'll be the second dragon over to LAGA by the looks of things. It's going to be an Ocean Soul. That would probably be the last one I would have guessed, so I'll take the L on that one. Zuka 2 items. Now 3. That's a full Rabadon's complete, by the way.
20 minutes.
20-minute Rabadon's, 3 items. That is...
quite terrifying.
Where are we at? What? Why am I being a silly boy?
Got 584 AP, by the way.
That's what I'm looking for. I just couldn't see it. 584 AP, 20 minutes. Has 102 stacks. He's about to get the upgraded ult as well. Nothing can stand in front of the Syndra, can they, without just being completely blasted.
Yeah, you've got no magic resist on anyone apart from Boy, who has Merc Treads, and Entropy has 30 magic resist. Vic has 30 magic resist from Radiant Virtue, but that is it. Shadow Flame as well. A lot of value into these players as well with Rakan.
Lots small shield from the Rakan
and Rumble Scrap Shield as well.
Baron going to be started from LAGA, so trying to force the issue. I like it when you're playing these team fight comps in your head. It's so easy to start those objectives and just turn.
Boytang's a little bit isolated by Rickon as well in the mid lane. Not being able to join. Boy's also in the wrong spot as well.
This is a call for Forge God. Vic caught out though. He's just going to be one shot, but a lot invested in that kill. Maybe Coastline can make something of it. As Entropy's forced to re-engage. He's going to go down as well. It's going to be a 2 for 0 if he can. The Ignite's ticking.
Ooh,
he lives, but
the
Q from the Ornn's going to be just enough. I wonder if they're going to turn back on the Baron or just push for an inhibitor. I'd expect the Baron.
Like it's the Baron start.
Yeah, I'll take that pink just to be safe. So, no jungle for the side of Coastline. Should make it relatively easy.
I think they just have to give it. I don't think there's anything they can do. Oh, Ugandan fighter caught out.
He's just dead, isn't he?
9-0 on the Syndra.
He didn't even land the first Q. It's absolutely disgusting.
We got pings coming out from LAGA onto the Syndra of appreciation.
Yeah. Just the
Zuka 1v9 has absolutely 1v9 this game.
Yeah. The clue's in the name.
He came here to party and he's definitely got his...
completely taking over!
He's got his disco pants on. Oh, however, he is surrounded now. Oh! Does it matter?
So probably going to take 1 for 1, but it's going to be a big shutdown into Boytang if they can get it. Flash from Zuka. I don't know if it's going to be enough. The Zyro is going to be just enough to get him safety, so 1,000 gold shut down onto Boytang.
A lot of gold there.
That's going to be enough to turn the game. My heart says no, my head says no, but my heart says maybe.
Maybe, yeah. That looks like it's completed quick blades there, so really big power spike for the Zyra on these 2 items, but can she utilise it? It'll be interesting to see.
Top tier 2 being siege. Rickon no mana though, may just be able to be run down. The equalizer is available. There's 3 members strong on the top side of the Coastline. It's like they're just going to force them away for now.
The Ornn upgrades are starting to filter in as well, so you can only imagine this lead that LAGA have accumulated is only going to get stronger as they get this bonus 800,000 gold from these ornaments.
I think they're roughly equivalent to about 1,500 gold's worth of stats, so maybe not 800,000, but for sure.
800 to 1,000.
Oh, sure, okay. Not 800,000.
Not 800,000 gold.
Are you sure?
League.
I mean, my maths is pretty good, but I'm not sure I'm keeping up with that
You
one.
were voted world's tallest accountant 2019.
That's true.
That is official.
By exactly one person, as Uganda Fighter's going to look to scrap Rickon again, but Andy's here to cover.
What the Forge God?
All the Forge God used, though. Uganda Fighter's going to be knocked up. No zonies or anything, so I think he's just going to be dead. Just too much damage. The 2v2 is so powerful. And there it is. Equalizer just not going to be nearly enough to save his life. 1 in 6 now on the Rumble. Uganda Fighter really struggling.
As we were talking about in the draft as well, it's that Cataclysm lockdown that sort of pair Jarvan with anyone on LAGA's team, and you've got quite an easy takedown.
So much setup from the Jarvan, and the problem with these teamfight comps is if they don't get ahead, they can be quite hard to execute. But when ahead, it's so impossible as who even is that?
Joe's
Is that
been caught out.
EP Joe? EP Joe's gonna get caught out, but it's so tanky, it's so far ahead. Entropy just gonna get one shot by the
absolutely blasted by the bullet time.
It's just huge, isn't it? It's huge damage. 2.5 items even on the Misfortune. So if the Syndra wasn't enough, this boy's caught. It's just gonna be. Well, maybe gets away with the dashes actually. Zuka getting to half health. Maybe we can defend this. Gonna lose a tower. EP Joe flashing forward though. Great combo onto Entropy. It's gonna be enough. There goes, you're going to fight it for the 7th time this game. Vicken, absolutely one-shot. Boytan going low as well. I think this might be the nail in the coffin. I don't know if there's anything coming back from this. We'll see if they can defend.
Still got Baron. This Baron has lasted such a long time. Flash coming out Ricken.
Snowballed the game so fast, haven't they? Big pullback, but it just gets everyone low. It does actually finish everyone off. 2 going down now. Maybe they can't finish just yet. Can Entropy end? Or stop the end, I should say.
13-1 on the Syndra.
13-1 on Syndra. Still got a shutdown of 450 gold. That's going to be it. First game going over to LAGA. Absolute creaming. Zuka putting on a clinic for this Syndra. I assume they can end. I don't think Vicky can hold this himself. But
there it goes.
There it is. Game on over to LAGA.
Wow, what an absolute pasting from the Syndra there.
Truly a powerful performance. The 2v2 Jarvan Syndra working out a treat, and Ricken showing really how powerful Ornn can be in a 1v1 scenario.
Yeah, like we were saying, he did have that early death, but it just doesn't matter. Ornn's just an absolute mainstay. Always, I think I didn't see any of his Call of the Forge God ults whiff. I think all of them were impactful. All of them made such a big difference to the team fighting. Obviously, it was really nice having that backline Misfortune ulting over the top. We didn't see the incredible wombo combo potential that they had, but it didn't matter. They just managed to use the ults tactically, really make the skirmishes work out. Even after Coastline took those early advantages with getting the first Herald, first Drake. Obviously, we saw first Herald not being used, so not managed to get an advantage there. And
I don't really know what happened there with that first Herald. It was a real shame for Coastline couldn't pick up that gold, as kind of needed it going into that mid game.
Really important for them to get that down, and whatever happened, just wasn't available.
You look to the side of LAGA, and they really made advantage of these magic damage items. Look at the Ornn got Radiant Virtue and Abyssal Mask coming through. You look at even the Jarvan with Hex Drinker and Spirit Visage. Even the Rel picking up the Locket for a bit more MR spread across the team. So, I think the Ahri pick 5 on red side. I really don't like it.
What do you think
they
could
have
have
better
picked
options they had
in the mid lane?
I think they just have to pick an AD top laner. They're going to really struggle with Rumble in that comp, because with Tristana and Jace banned, you're going into a Syndra. I mean, I don't know. I think a tank top laner could have been very powerful. You know, Sion was still up.
Yeah.
Malphite was still up. I don't know how good Malphite is into that comp. You could try and 5v5 them as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the Ahri Rumble, R5, R4, just confused Coastline's comp a little bit. You know, they're trying to be this ducking and diving team with these big follow-up ults, but the comp didn't. They just struggled to do damage, I think.
Yeah, I think they really suffered from that, not having that ability to convert anything in the mid game, just because LAGA managed to snowball so far in advance. We'll have to see how they adjust their draft. Looks like they're on blue side. Coastline are on blue side this time around.
See what they want to priority pick. And as well, the draft isn't all to blame. There's nothing to take away from Zuka's literal 1v9 performance. I mean, they were just so powerful in that mid lane. Even without any kills, managing to get a 40 CS advantage over Boy.
Absolute terror, yeah. I think it's going to be interesting to see how Coastline respond now they're on blue side. Now they obviously have that prio. Again, one of the big picks that we talked about that we've seen a lot of, is the Kai'Sa. Didn't make a show in picks or bans, so...
Yeah, I'm really surprised by that.
Yeah.
I think if you're picking Maokai, you're wanting to pair it with an AD mid laner if possible, usually. It is the usual read, right?
I think
not prioritize, as good as Zyra Khan is, not prioritizing one of these AD mid laners. I feel like it can function without either Xayah or Rakan. There's options you can go for both. Even something like a Felios Zeri would be good if the enemy team clearly wants to 5v5.
I was honestly really surprised after we saw Rel locked in B1 for LAGA that we didn't see Maokai Jace straight up on R1, R2 for Coastline. That really surprised me. The blind Xayah, I understand picking the blind Xayah. Obviously, she's probably the most blindable AD carry out there. But I just don't know if that is, like you were saying, a lot of the AD carries that are strong in the meta at the moment are sort of independent of the team comp around them. They're just good AD carries with a lot of team comps.
I think that's usual with the Xayah Kai'Sa as well. They're kind of independent. They can make plays by themselves and follow up.
But I think that means they're almost lower priority in the draft at this level, just because you're gonna get one of them, and a lot of the matchups are quite fine. I think Kai'Sa into Xayah is a bit rough for the Kai'Sa in the early game. Xayah can put a lot of pressure. Kai'Sa's very short ranged. So I understand LAGA not picking up the Kai'Sa after the Xayah's been locked in, but I don't really get why neither team is prioritizing it. I mean, maybe they're just not fans, but I think she's so strong at the moment.
LAGA had a clear identity of what they wanted to achieve, and I don't think Kai'Sa fits that. And Xayah can do, but less so than Misfortune.
Yeah.
I think Coastline, the Xayah was kind of a knee-jerk reaction potentially to the Rel, but LAGA did a really great job of overloading the hard engage with the Xayah, so that we saw it in that game multiple times. The Xayah pops the ult after getting engaged on, and then just gets hit by something else and immediately dies.
Yeah. It feels like LAGA went into the draft, like you were saying, with a clear team identity that they wanted to craft. And they were sort of drafting irrelevant to what Coastline were drafting. Like, they obviously...
They were picking around their comp.
Yeah. They saw the Rumble pick, and they picked the Ornn into it, which, again, it's not favourable for the Ornn, but he certainly can survive that lane. And they had the Syndra pick as well, that they blinded the mid lane. Very safe pick to blind. Pairs really well with the Jarvan for the mid 2v2. And I think they just said to Coastline, bring what you're going to bring. We have an idea of what we're going to play. Yeah. I think that strategy is one of the best things that you can do in this tier of game. Don't worry too much about what your opponents are doing. Obviously, you have to be aware of it, and you can't counter yourself in the draft. But come into a game with a really strong identity, a really strong idea of what you want to do, build your team, and just play better.
I think playing to your strengths, we just got the spectator invite. Playing to your strengths, and rather than shutting down your opponent's strengths, is a lot easier.
Yeah, I completely agree.
If you come in with an identity, you try and, there's multiple champions that can fit these kind of styles. If Ornn was banned, maybe look at something like a Malphite instead. Maybe look at something like a Sion. I think on red side, you have to be... Coastline still has to be careful of LAGA just going Maokai Jace, as much as they didn't prioritise it at all in Game 1. I think Rel's still going to be a priority pick between both these teams. I wouldn't necessarily... That being said, I wouldn't want to see it banned away by Coastline. They have so many high power picks they can pick on this blue side one.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe they look towards the Rel. Maybe they were surprised by the Rel B1 after seeing LAGA's support match history, playing stuff like the Annie and the Emilio. We saw, Emilio taking away the ban, so maybe they weren't expecting that. But, Coastline could pick up something that's high priority. Maybe they do want to pick up something like a Zac or an Ivan for Entropy. We'll have to see.
Again, we could see, obviously, some of those one tricks weren't banned in the first game, so we could see the players fall back onto those comfort picks. And obviously, it's not the end for either of these teams if they're knocked out. They do go into the lower bracket, so everything isn't completely on the line for them.
But winner, straight to finals, baby.
Straight to finals,
if my understanding is correct, and it is the same as the LEC format. So the winner of this match goes straight to the finals. The loser will play the winner of Bergman's Valhalla. And then the winner of that game will go to finals.
Which we could potentially be casting this Sunday as well. Put a pin in that.
The lower bracket.
The lower bracket, yeah.
I would love to cast the finals. We'll have to see if any of the teams are interested in that. We have seen interest, I think, from all the non-Lager teams. So there's a good
Yep.
chance that we get to cast that, which would be amazing.
I think
It would be a best of 5 as well, I think.
LAGA do have their own caster, but
Yeah.
I'm sure they could not be too
We can stream
opposed.
alongside, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we're
You
doing it
will.
right now, I believe.
We are, yeah. Okay, so they're just lining up now.
Yeah. There we are.
It'd be really easy if one person on each team could just reorder people in the.
Yeah. But that's expecting a lot from the League of Legends client, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we have to
There
take
we
what we
go.
can get from the client, don't we? Man, that
Yeah,
rant I
but-
went on about earlier about team comps has really taken it out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's made me very tired.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. I mean, it's smart stuff.
I got real hyped for that. You should have seen me. I was gesturing. I was flapping my
Yeah,
arms about.
I could
Man,
feel it.
I
I could
was
feel the wind from here. You were
I was
blasting.
I was
with
going
those
all
arms. Crazy.
I was going all quick shot. Just
Yeah.
really throwing myself into
Yeah.
it, man. I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
stand up and stretch to inject a bit of
Okay. You have a little bit of a
stretch, yeah. Right, our teams are still playing musical chairs in the lobby, trying to get everyone in order.
I think
It's
we're
still not there. No, still not there.
Sandy is no.
Nope.
There it is.
So Coastline are in position. LAGA
Yep. Just
still doing
reordering.
backflips, trying to get everyone in
There we
order.
go.
There we go.
We're there.
We're in.
Ready to draft. So here we are.
Beautiful stuff.
Exciting. So
Exciting
we'll see
stuff.
what Coastline wants to do to adapt. If maybe they want to match Laga's 5v5, if Laga want to go for that, maybe they think, you know what, it was a great draft at first, we'll just play a similar thing from Laga. Coastline want to match it. Maybe they put more priority on something like an Ornn or a Scion to frontline. Zaya's still a great team fighting champion. Same with Rakan with the flanks. So I don't think they need to adjust all that much. Honestly, a similar comp with an AD jungler or an AD mid laner works really well.
Obviously,
if they play
LAGA
something like Lee Sin.
LAGA have
That
sort
could be
of
a more pick
shown
comp.
their hand now. They've shown what they came here to do. So it's going to be interesting to see if Coastline try and outmaneuver them in the draft. If LAGA in the first few picks look like they're going down the same route, Coastline obviously have plenty of opportunities to respond.
That's it.
I wouldn't mind seeing a rel ban from Coastline in the first round.
Really?
To be honest,
You don't think they should just pick it themselves? I think they play it. Pretty sure they play
they
it.
could go for it, but I think they.
What do you first pick instead is the question. Kai'Sa?
Again, I want to see the Kai'Sa, but again, then
it's so powerful.
Then I'm expecting a Jace or a Maokai ban in first rotation, which does mean the rel falls lower down priority in the bans. Well, we're going to answer the questions now. The draft has begun.
It'll be interesting to see as well if Laga want to commit to saying, you know what, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, just run it back, we'll play the same comp. Or if they say, you know what, let's play something else and try and catch them off guard again. I kind of expect them to go similar thing. The rel being taken away, though, by Laga, so...
Taking away the rel.
Not really surprising considering they're on red side.
Wireless target ban against Zuka.
Makes me think Coastline are looking for some big ult, something like a Maokai themselves. Maybe looking to first pick Maokai or Malphite or something like this. Maybe Alistair. Obviously, Sife's very good with all of those ults. Ivan taken away from Lager as well.
A lot of stuff still open here, so...
Yeah, Syndra takeaway, recency bias perhaps, but Zuka
maybe
looks
so,
unbeatable
but
on that Syndra, so...
You can't tell me that
they just don't have an answer.
They didn't have an absolutely stellar performance on that champion. It's maybe not something you want to run into twice. Maokai takeaway, R3 from Laga.
Again, with the Silas ban, unsurprising. We'll see what Coastline want to go for.
I think Sejuani comes back up into priority now that Maokai's gone, as possibly the next best option.
Sejuani is pretty good. There's still stuff like the Viego as well, if they want to go an AD jungler with an AP mid laner.
We haven't seen any Ashe as well. Ashe, something that a few teams have been playing.
That's true. Ashe has been very powerful in these past games in the tournament.
Definitely good in these kite-back 5v5, like front-to-back team comps.
There's the Rakan,
Taking
so
away
maybe
the Rakan first.
Still going to go on the Rakan Zaya. I wonder if Lager will want to just take something from that. Take a counter straight away. Something like the Leona or the Nautilus could be very good.
Again, another champion, Nautilus, that we've not seen as much of as I expected. I still think that champion's
I'm a little bit less surprised we've not seen the Nautilus, just because I think it's another of those champions that kind of fits most compositions.
Yep.
But there it is.
There it is.
So just managing to lock down that Rakan. Could be a flex, but I very much doubt it. See if I want to pick up something.
Yeah, that was a strange few weeks of League of Legends, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a little bit weird.
Watching Faker play Nautilus mid was an experience.
Yep. There's the Xayah. So just breaking up the combo. I like it. Coastline, I expect will go for a Kai'Sa here, but they didn't seem to put much priority in it last time. There's still also the Aphelios and Zeri available if they want to go more team fighting, although I'd be surprised to see an Aphelios after the Gale Force.
There's also an Ezreal pick, which is really good into Nautilus Xayah. Obviously, you can buffer the dredge line from Nautilus there.
Yeah. And you can buffer something else, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
The Zeri comes in, so...
Do you know what? I'm going to say it. Don't like Zeri Rakan.
You don't like Zeri Rakan?
Nope.
They're very mobile, I will say.
They're very mobile.
Pretty hard to lock down, but both weak to Nautilus.
Both weak to Nautilus. For that reason. And not only that,
if
Rakan tries anything in lane, Zeri more than... Yep. She just can't follow up. Because she can only hit the thing that's in front of them, and most of the time that's the minion wave. But
that's Coastline gonna...
just from a lane perspective.
Yeah, Coastline probably going to try and match by looks things the team fight if LAGA want to go for it again. 3 already very powerful champions. Somewhat non-committal. I mean, Rakan pretty slippery, can get out pretty easily. But there's the Poppy, extremely good into these 3 picks.
Yep, it's a flex as well. Could be jungle, could be top. Expecting it to be top.
Yeah, we'll see. The jungle would still give flexibilities there. They'll have to taken away. So maybe LAGA looking for a Cassante. We know the top laner plays it. I'd love to see it. But Coastline, I expect, will smell this one coming.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me to see a B4 or 5 Cassante takeaway.
They might have something prepped. I mean,
it's the
Cassante's been pretty relevant elsewhere. But
they're baiting the Cassante pick.
It is huge. Yeah, that's it. Just pick Garen forehead. It's broken. I'm telling you.
Ult me. Dare you.
Yeah, dare you. I'll ult you, and then you'll be dead.
One takeaway from Coastline. I like that.
I like
it's an absolute terror.
Yeah, and just makes the team fight so easy to set up. I wonder if they'll lean into that and take something like the Scion away as well. Or maybe the Malphite.
Could opt to take away the Rumble as well on the side of LAGA, which was actually quite strong, just didn't manage to quite get off the ground.
That's true. It would mean that Coastline probably want an AD mid laner, but maybe Zeri just puts out enough attack damage anyway.
Jace and Tristana, both still on the table for both teams.
Yeah, I'm surprised no priority's been put on those, but maybe the Maokai takeaway, they're less comfortable with doing it, and the Ivern. You'd need an AP jungler, really.
Well, it depends if this Poppy does go top, but then what AP junglers are left? Lilia? That doesn't really fit into LAGA's comp.
Yeah, Tristana Poppy, still pretty powerful.
Cassiopeia. That was another target ban there.
I feel like that means Coastline might be looking for the Tristana, because that is a counter pick. So they're saying, you know what, you pick your Tristana or Cassante, and we'll just counter pick it and blind the other. We'll have to wait and
LAGA honestly sat on little to no magic damage at the moment. We're going to have to see if they... I mean, oh, there's magic damage.
I guess. Yeah.
So again, this is a double flex with Gragas Poppy, because either one of those is comfortable with jungle or top. I'm expecting this to be Gragas top, though.
I mean, it could be Gragas mid lane.
Yeah.
But I think
it's Shushei.
Jungler play the Gragas. So I won't be surprised to see a Tristana coming out still for LAGA.
Do they want to pick that into the Poppy, though?
As well.
I think Tristan.
Well, no, I mean LAGA
Zion...
won't be picking it on
LAGA
R5.
picking it, yeah.
It still leaves the Tristana available.
I was going to say, I don't think you want to play
Gragas mid.
Ugandan fight
is special, Dr. Mundo.
When their backs are against the wall.
Gragas and Poppy. But that's what I'm talking about. You see these one tricks, these power picks that they have, these trump cards. When you're in a pinch, I mean, it looks great into LAGA's comp so far.
Yeah.
None of those champions can really kill Mundo very easily, so they're going to need something to kill him on R5.
Ugandan Fighter has proved to be an absolute terror on the Good Doctor there.
It has looked very powerful in their hands.
In the last series, I think the game he played it, he did the most damage in the game by a significant amount.
There it is, so...
Go for the control mage in the mid lane.
As well. I like it.
I quite like that, yeah.
They're just looking to scale.
I think it's a good pairing with the Sejuani as well.
I will say that they're going to struggle to bridge the gap. If they can get to the late game, they'll absolutely be unstoppable. But there's the Gragas Yasuo combo now. That is exciting.
LAGA absolutely pulling no punches there.
Oh, wow. Gragas Yasuo.
Gragas Yasuo.
So it probably is going to be Gragas jungle.
Look at the amount of setup they have for Yasuo, though.
Yeah, Yasuo has so many good ult targets, doesn't
Gragas ult, they've got Poppy ult, they've got Nautilus ult, so many AoE knockups.
It's also a champion that can kill Mundo as well, so I really like that. I don't know how well it does into Victor. I think Victor gets a relatively free lane in the early game, but come level 6, it's going to be very difficult to stay alive against Gragas Yasuo. The mobile mage, obviously. Pretty hard to dodge those casks when you don't have flash.
Yeah, I don't think... nothing is windwallable from Victor.
Mm-hmm. It is Gragas
no, you can
jungle,
windwall the Q, can't you? Yeah, the initial cast of Q, but you can't windwall the auto after. Is the auto dependent on the Q landing? I don't think it is it?
I don't think the Q gets windwalled either. The auto.
The auto doesn't because it's a laser, but the disc thingy fires out.
The disc thing definitely gets windwalled.
Which I think denies him the shield, because it has to return before Victor gets the shield.
Yes, yeah, you're right.
So, but that's about it. So it's quite a skill matchup in the mid lane. Obviously we have Victor having much better early wave clear.
I think every mid lane matchup for Yasuo is a skill matchup. I'm not gonna lie. Apart from Renekton, where it's unwinnable. It's not a skill matchup at all.
Completely unwinnable when the Croc's on the block.
It's just pointless in playing. Just give up. When the Croc's on the block.
Yeah. When it's Croc o'clock, Yasuo's not having a good time.
Your head's on the chopping block.
That's it.
That's fine.
Tagline.
Yep. Oh, I love it. I guess you can even on Yasuo. Is it called Last Breath? I feel like it's called Last Breath.
Last Breath.
I feel like you can even do that off of the Poppy bounce off the W, right? I think they count as small knockups.
Do you know what? I don't think it makes them airborne. I think it's just a stun, but I could be wrong.
Maybe. Either way.
But then again, it's like a 0.5 second stun.
Yeah,
like,
it's very short window. It's extremely short.
You have to be mashing that R button.
I mean, if anyone's gonna do it, I think.
Or P button if you're left-handed.
Up there. All right, let's calm down.
Yeah.
Or maybe you. I don't know which way he does it.
Oh, true. Actually, it could be UIOP.
Completely weird. I'm not sure.
And that'd be weird.
Either way. I think LAGA still have a great team fighting comp, but looking to particularly skirmish. They're looking for these picks. They're going to need to get ahead, though. As much as Yasuo scales, all of Coastline champions will dominate late game. So we'll have to see. If Coastline can go even and reach 15-20 minutes without being in too much of a deficit, I really think they have a good chance of taking this one and bringing it up to...
Got to be honest as well. As much as you're looking for the explosive cast onto the Zeri Victor backline, I don't know if you want to be ulting on that in the late game. I think
it'll depend on flanks.
Yeah, I think
Poppy can get a good flank, or
it's really scary ulting into that backline when Victor Zeri is there, because even for a Yasuo, you can just be absolutely blasted by the.
Here's the thing, though: if you hit the Zeri Victor, and you can kind of one-shot them with a Xayah follow-up or a Poppy Nautilus follow-up, Coastline doesn't have much damage left. If you can kill one of them, I just left on Coastline. And
don't know if it will all depend on, obviously, like you said, how they play on the flanks, because Zeri not incredibly long range, but Victor's very long range. So looking for those double cask opportunities is going to be tough, but.
I think Zeri is deceptively long range. Here's how I think about it. If you're an AD carry, right, and you stop to auto attack someone, let's say the average is 550 range, right? If you hit someone at 550 range, then you have to stop 550 range away, which means by the time your auto attack animation's finished, there might be, let's say, 400 range away, right? Probably about right. Whereas Zeri, if her Q range is, let's say, 550, I'm not sure what it is, but let's say it is 550, you can probably press Q 650 range away and still hit them and then keep kiting, which I think is why Zeri is so powerful, because you can use the Q, and because it's a skill shot, you actually have probably about 100 more range than it feels like you should, if they're running at you, which is why she's so good at kiting.
Obviously, as well, you're getting the stacking movement speed.
Well, this is the thing, you can not only run faster than them, which means you can stop further away. These Qs, if you just try and run into it, it's going to be miserable. I do think one way that LAGA could win the front to back, as much as Coastline has a very powerful comp, is they can land a big keeper's verdict on Sejuani or Mundo or both or Rakan. Then the last breath is a lot less risky because you're just going to be left with the backline at that point.
Yeah, and it's actually going to be fairly easy for the keeper's verdict to knock the Mundo away
There's a
because
lot of big targets.
they have a lot of ways to remove Mundo passive as well.
Yep.
Like, it only takes a stray Nautilus hook or a Gragas body slam, even a Poppy E, just to knock the Mundo passive off, straight into a full charge keeper's verdict, send the Mundo out of the way, and then backline access.
Or Poppy W into Gale Force from Mundo would do it as well.
Right.
I'm just saying that would knock passive off.
Yeah, well, when we see Gale Force Mundo, right, I'll
I'm
buy
just saying.
I'll buy you a Pepsi Max.
Oh, I like Pepsi Max. I'm down.
Yeah, a Pepsi Max Lime.
I'll take that. Yeah, I'll take that. I've got 7 left, but that could be nice. It'll taste better for the victory. You know?
No, I just don't think LAGA are prepared for the Gale Force Mundo special from the Ganon Fighter there.
Yeah.
Maybe they're prepared to counter it with Gale Force Gragas.
I don't think Coastline's ready for the Gale Force Mundo either.
Everything's all gone wrong.
We'll see. We'll see. We're playing all the bravery now.
I did want to talk about this Zeri a little bit. It's something that I don't think we've seen a single pick in any of the games we've cast.
Not recently. I think we may have done early on when Zeri was still Giga broken. Was supposedly not anymore, but still actually was.
So I want to talk about the itemization options that Zeri has.
Yeah,
because there's a few weird things that I've seen. So Zeri's become a little bit of a toolbox champion when it comes to itemization. I've seen Trinity Force make a resurgence, even though Q doesn't proc Sheen anymore. I've seen, like, Blade of the Ruin King into Runons, into Titanic Hydra.
That's weird.
I've seen Static Shiv into Nash's Tooth, into Ludens. I've seen a lot of really weird things on Zeri, and all of them work. Yeah. So I've even seen Quick Blades on Zeri recently, which was I
think Quick Blades is kind of the meta item, right?
At the moment, it's really, really good. Just the permanent uptime on your E.
And the W as well, getting such a short cooldown. There's so much damage.
So I'm really curious, because a lot of people are falling back onto the Trinity Force build at the moment, just because having 3k health on an AD carry is really good, but...
Honestly, Triforce is a strong item right now. But even without the Q, Proc and Sheen, you can weave those auto attacks in. They still do a lot of damage. In late game, they stack up really quickly.
You have to remember as well that her auto attack is an execute as well.
Ugh.
It is a magic damage execute.
Why is it an execute as well? I didn't know that. I didn't want to know that.
Yeah, it's missing health execute. So there's a lot of options there. Obviously, Trinity Force is now in its new current iteration where it only stacks 3 times. So for the maths nerds out there, apparently that works out at a DPS increase for the first 11 auto attacks of a trade, I believe.
Yeah.
And then it technically falls off. I don't know how that's calculated, but that's what
I feel like 11's a lot. If Zeri's auto attacking you 11 times, you're probably dead.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So apparently I know a lot of Jax players have been absolutely raving about the changes to Trinity Force, but that champion is a monster of its own.
Yeah.
But yeah, this I have to see what they pull out of the bag for this Zeri build. I'm expecting a Static Shiv. Obviously, Zeri has almost negative wave clear.
It will be a great way to slow this game down.
Yeah.
I think he has decent wave clear, right? With an E and a Q.
No, you can't.
Like it's not that bad.
You just can't use your E aggressively for wave clear in the lane because you just
but you just like E on the spot and then I mean wave clear. I'm talking about like mid game. So
yeah,
I'm talking about different things here, I guess. But yeah, the Static Shiv, I think from the Zeri will give Coastline a lot of breathing room if they want to go for that. Spectator working perfectly again. It's just Beautiful. Our day, I guess.
It's just our day.
Love to see it.
Poppy pinging on the Zeri immediately, so I'm expecting maybe a topside start from the Gragas into an early aggression on the bot side. Obviously, Zeri, rightfully so, incredibly weak in the early game.
I will say, I think we probably will see the Static Shiv from the Yasuo. I'm surprised if we didn't. That Victor has a lot of wave clear, but 1 Q from Yasuo might just be enough to finish the whole wave.
Now, I know both Yasuo and Yone have had changes this patch just due to the... They sort of took a big hit with Shield Bow not being a mythic item anymore.
Yeah.
So I know some of their itemization has become a little bit awkward to deal with. So have to see what he goes for. The static shield wouldn't be a surprise. Really good to match that Victor's wave clear in the mid to late game.
Yep.
It wouldn't surprise me if we see him go down the Blade the Ruin King route, especially with the Mundo to deal with, and the Sejuani to cut through.
A little bit less if he was a different champion, because the range on the last breath, you're going to be able to follow up even if Victor is in the way and gets first move. But we're going to likely see a lot of focus around this mid lane for LAGA. You're going to want to get this Yasuo ahead and safe. Probably more around level 6, but I expect the Gravigus will want to cover some ganks, maybe make some plays in this.
Yeah, honestly, once this mid 2v2 are both level 6, it's going to be exceptionally difficult for this Victor to play the game safely and push out.
Even then, you get hit by Glacial Prison for the Yasuo, you're going to get one shot by this by this Sejuani Victor.
Yeah, you got to be quick on the windwall.
That's a lot of damage.
Like if she Arctic Assaults out of a bush straight into a Glacial Prison, you're in trouble. That Victor is going to absolutely one-shot you. Terrifying champion.
Yep. So yeah,
there we go. Chicken starts from both junglers as well, so leashless.
Yeah, I kind of expect full clears coming through, or most covers. I don't think we're going to see much action from the side of Coastline. They're going to want to play it real slow. I can't imagine the Poppy Mundo matchup's very good for Poppy at all. So
yeah, Mundo sort of just doesn't care.
Good damage, but yeah,
she got percent max health on her Q, but it only starts becoming relevant at sort of 4 ranks and 5 ranks into it.
You can get some good little trades here, but disadvantage being range, you can just poke them on the way out as well as on the way in.
I hate that her buckler procs grasp. That makes me so angry.
It's not an attack that counts, right?
I know, but it's so annoying when you're in lane against it. I learned the hard way that Mordekaiser does not counter Poppy.
Yeah. I think there's without the grass prop working on the buckler, I think it's pretty difficult for it to be a top lane. No, I think really getting some good damage onto Boy.
Yeah, these tornadoes are really landing.
Yeah, just make sure we're synced on 303, 304, 305.
Pause for 1 second.
Okay, 307, 308, 309.
There we go.
Seem good? Nice.
Gragas moving in on the mid lane. Might be a flash body slam angle.
Could be. Forces the flash out from Boy. Quick on the fingers. Good reaction, but...
The wave's pushing into Zuka as well, so...
Yeah, it's not a good spot, is it, for Boy? I think he's going to need to call the jungler.
Boy might be able to get away with not blowing his teleport if he wants to get a reset off here, though. Because with the wave state being where it is...
If you get a wave reset here, though, you lose so much CS from it just to being frozen. There it is, though. Just going to call the Sejuani to push it away. Vicar going extremely low. I don't know what the camera was doing there, but Vicar doesn't quite lose his life, but he's going probably sub 10. Ignite ticking away.
Pretty low there. Again, this is a tough matchup early for the Zeri Rakan. Really not a whole lot you can do.
Every matchup's going to be tough, isn't it?
10 CS lead in the mid lane for Zuka, so again, bringing the beat down.
Getting the advantage. You kind of fight struggling on the top side as well, as the pot's ticking away. Always going to be tough though, as Entropy's looking for something. I don't really think there's anything to get. Probably just going to be there to make sure he can crash his wave and Uganda fight can get a reset.
Just bonk straight into the Poppy W there.
Yep. Not much to do there, really. I don't think they're even going to... It's crashed, though, but Boy's in trouble. No flash. I don't think he's going to be anywhere near lethal range, but... Good W there. Gravity field stopping that play in its tracks.
But again, it's just another freeze for Zuka.
Yep.
This CS difference in the mid lane is starting to become...
It's only going to grow.
Real difficulty. It looks like Zuka's looking to push through that now, but it's going to crash. Oh, he's windmilling the casters.
As well.
Look at that tech.
It's so difficult, isn't it? Entropy's here to push, and Vicar make sure this wave can crash.
This is just going to freeze again, though.
Reset in, but I don't know. I think between them they should be able to get this to crash. But that's a lot of time invested by Entropy. Taking some CS away from the Victor as well, and losing some XP.
Joe's here, but Vicar's waiting in the wings.
Zuka's waiting for level 6. I don't know if he's very close, is he? He's about 3/4 of the way there, so this Victor is going to be in a bit of trouble in a minute or so, I imagine.
Yeah, Zuka's almost a full level ahead of him as well. That is a lot of XP. 18 CS to 44 in the mid lane.
It's just bullying, isn't it, at this point?
Horrible.
Boy, really struggling in this matchup against Zuka.
Gandon Fighter's on the phone in the fountain, going to TP back to lane.
I'm just going to shut my window once there's an alarm going off.
Thought that was in game.
There you go.
Right,
I think it was
again,
a farm alarm. Zook, I could hear it from here. Zuka's just letting it ring.
Yep.
Real loud.
Big wave crashing in for Coastline here. Bot side. Gonna be able to take a slight CS advantage if they manage to get all of these, but nothing too major. 1 or 2 CS. Again, it looks like that's the other upside to this matchup for Zyra as well. She can really dictate freezes, the push and pull of the lane, just out wave clears Zeri so easily.
In this early game, I think once static shift's complete, if they go that way from boy tank, should change that up a little bit, but
it does become a little bit more even.
Even on the mid lane. Playing mid. Imagine they're looking for Entropy. Entropy's not very healthy. There's the last breath, and it's going to be an easy first blood. There's nothing you can really do about that. Dies within the Drake of the airborne. Deletion. Yeah.
That is not what you want to see. You don't want to see Santa Claus leaping at you from the bush.
The Dredgeline's going to land. I don't know if they really wanted it to, but it's going to be a play over to the side of Coastline as well. You can fighter has got to that point though where I don't think Poppy can ever kill him anymore. The level 6, so.
And he's moving on his way down, but it looks like he's just going to go onto the dragon.
Yeah, I think this Yasuo going to get this push again mid. The priority's just always there. So, not much they can... We expected this from Coastline though, I will say. We expected them to go down in the early because their comp scale's so hard in the late game. So, just going to lean on that, hope to go even. They'll drop the first couple of Drakes maybe into test on the 3rd or 4th.
They're just going to watch that this 2,000 gold lead doesn't balloon out of control.
Yeah, it's big, isn't it? 1,000 gold advantage already on the Yasuo. Zuka 1v9, staying true to his name. Cleaver to catch the cannon there, so you're gonna
that was it. Yasuo got a bigger shield on his passive.
Oh, nice.
So able to help him trade effectively with this Victor, walk up to get CS.
Yep.
Entropy's going to find Andy on his red buff. He's going to take exception to that by the looks of things.
Yeah, where's the full smite? There it is from Entropy. Has it available? Good Q to dodge the body slam, so really no ult coming through from Zuka. Really clutch actually. It might have only looked like a little thing, but he could have been dead if he didn't dodge that.
Yeah, Zuka had ult back up as well, so.
Yeah. Denies Andy some XP as well. Going to take a little bit longer to get this level 6. Should have it on the next couple of camps though. So, boy's going to have to be real careful in this mid lane. Flash is available. Who's going to have to be quick on the finger with it?
Zuka's getting a plate.
Zuka's getting a plate. It's one of those games. Plate's going to be one of the biggest things that happens. It's probably just going to be a 5v5 team fight where...
Hey, Bowson's Law, plate equals kill.
Plate equals kill.
Come on.
That counts. I mean, at the minute, it equals more than a kill. He's 1,400 gold up on the Yasuo, 44 CS lead, plate up. It's just huge.
He's playing plate up? This is
He's playing plate up.
This is an important League of Legends game.
Hang on a second, what the hell? He's playing plate up as well? This guy's some kind of multitasking god.
We just saw Rickon channel the Keeper's Verdict in the top lane there to threaten Ugandan fighter, but he did have his passive up, so not sure.
Oh, Glacial Prison coming down onto EP Joe. Tank just tanks it face first. Has the flash available, isn't going to burn it, just accepts his death. Azkusan might be in trouble now as well with the charm. Has the flash though, and the cleanse and the ult, so should be able to get out, but the stun coming through from Sejuani. Victor dashes in, might be enough. Because extremely low, it's going to go down with his life. But Zuka diving mid, 1 versus 1. Now, Ugandan fighter's in trouble. There's action all over the map.
Just as we were saying that the game has slowed down, we get kills in all 3 lanes simultaneously.
My god, so to recap, Zuka dove boy, 1v1, blows his flash and gets the kill and lives. He crashes the wave. Top lane, there's a dive on Ugandan fighter who went low. Passive, not enough to save his life, gets taken out by the Poppy and the Gragas. And then bot lane, Coastline overloads, gets 2 kills into the tower, and I think trades 1 back. So
I will say,
that one's going to be dropped.
Ugandan fighter earlier in the engagement got his passive taken away by the Poppy E.
Yep.
And so when Andy turned up, he just couldn't get away from it. Yep. Got his ult put on cooldown.
There we go.
So, huge explosions across every aspect of the rift there. Team's really coming to blows.
Kills though, aside from the Herald, no real advantage garnered by either team. Still a 2,000 gold lead. Difference probably being the plates coming over from the Herald. As Coastline going to deny some vision. Looking for the
Drake
second
obviously
Drake
has gone over. It's 1 Drake lead for the moment for LAGA. They're looking to make that 2 in the next few minutes, hopefully.
That's it.
Static Shiv completed on Zeri though. She has 2 kills now.
Oh wow. Okay,
we could see a certified Zeri moment.
We could, and I've never had one personally. I've never had one. I've never cast one. I've seen many.
Yep.
So that would be exciting as much as I'm kind of sick to death of them in pro play.
I know in the first week Zeri came out,
the major
I got what is arguably the easiest Summoner's Rift pentakill of my entire life. I remember being very hyped for it, and I saved the highlight, and when I watched it back I realised for the most part I was sort of stood still. Just pressing Q.
Gonna have to pop the ult, no pass available, but he's going to get out of that one as Entropy's looking for a lane gank in the bot lane. Asuka-san, they're probably timing his flash and cleanse. Still no ult quite, so if they can get that...
I think Ugandan Fire, if he sells refillable, he's going to have Heart Steal, so that is... Wait in the last bit of gold. There it is.
The Glacial Prison landing on it. EP Joe blows the flash though. Saved it from earlier, but I don't think it's going to be enough to save him. Zeri now 3-0 and almost takes out Asuka-san as well. It's going to be another huge wave dropped for the Xayah. Azuka's just battering mid lane. There's nothing Boy can do about it. He's just sidestepping and moving around, making maximum.
I just want to point out here. Obviously,
Vic is flashing in.
Oh.
I don't know what he was thinking there with the Xayah, but Asuka-san walks forward and Boy-Tank just kills him. I don't know what Asuka-san was thinking there either.
I just want to say, here at Larry and Brian's Casting Couch, we don't play favourites. But Boy-Tank did message me on Discord saying, prepare to see the best Zeri EU West. So I'm just putting that out there.
Well,
his words, not mine.
Ugandan Fighter just getting battered as well.
Oh,
no, it doesn't go away, please. The cast goes wide, but it just doesn't matter.
Wow, trades across the board here again, but Zeri's sitting comfortably at 4-0. Got the BF sword, looks like it's going to be quick blades.
Yep.
Wow, so this...
See if the Zeri can carry them to this mid to late game. It's the only one with any kind of advantage.
Now this is good news for Coastline, because LAGA just cannot get that gold lead extended, because whenever they make a move in one direction, Zeri double kills their bot lane. So...
Joe.
He's in a little bit deep.
Last going to safety, but if they can kill Zeri, they should be in the clear in this early to mid, but it's going to be pretty difficult. Already static shifts, you're just going to sit back and wave clear, chill out, has the E to escape over a wall.
He's saying, I like this itemization from Zuka as well. Stormrazor makes trading really nice against a Victor.
Stormrazor,
you
I
can
just
run
saw,
in,
yeah.
Get some CS and sprint out away. Oh, he goes in with the last breath.
Goes in the last breath, just chunk him out. There's so much damage from the Stormrazor. It's just a one-shot. This is what the boy can do. I wonder if he timed that with his flashes. They're making a play on Dragon as well. Vicar getting caught. The W from Poppy not quite enough to cancel the grand entrance. It's going to be another...
Drake's down for LAGA. PP coming in to match Ugandan Fighter in the top side, but... Just
going to deny the plates. We've got a few seconds left on that, so...
And he's found Entropy in his chickens as well. He's going to... Entropy is going to strongly encourage the Gragas to leave his jungle. But I think that's all he can really do at the moment. Gragas going Rocket Belt. No.
I guess they're just getting range of the cast.
Yeah.
You know, getting that Rocket Belt into cast to get the Yasuo into the backline.
Second turret down for LAGA. Top and mid tier 1 have both gone down, but...
Exploded that golding down to 4,000 with those turrets going down. Bonus plates as well. Mid lane being brought to the ground.
It's really deep here. But there's just nobody there to capitalise on it, so he just gets free.
The Glacial Prison lands on the Gragas, has the flash available, see if he wants to use it, or just accept his fate. Doesn't quite get the cask off.
Boy-Tank just removes him from the ring.
5-0, EP Joe and Asuka-san now in trouble. See if Zuka can get into this
that's a lot of damage.
Huge damage from the Boy-Tank. Can he get the shutdown? He does. It's now just a 2v1. Trading in the top side as well, but looks like Boy's going to get some free time on this tower. I think that was really good for Coastline.
It was, but the big shutdown from Boy-Tank did go onto Zuka.
Oof.
So that's going to be rough.
3,300 gold lead on the Yasuo. Probably going to be able to complete the second item on this reset.
We're sitting at almost a 2,000, sort of 1,700 gold lead for AD carries. Leaning towards Coastline there, but this Yasuo is turning into the solo queue nightmare that we all know and love.
That's it. And if there's anyone that can kill Amundo, it's something like Yasuo with the big crits.
Yeah. He has got a nice pair of crits on him.
Oh.
I reckon not letting up on this aggression in the top side, not giving Ugandan Fighter a second to breathe.
I think I underestimated the Divine Thunder damage, honestly. It makes this matchup look a lot better than I thought it should. You're going to fight, maybe looking for an all-in though, but the Divine Thunder damage and the healings...
Between the max health damage of Poppy Q and the Divine Thunder, which is bringing the beat down. Divine Thunder done 1,000 bonus damage already. Not too bad at all.
Trading's really smart as well, make them force him back, just taking those trades so they can get this Herald for just no problem. You saw Zuka hover topside as well to protect him, so they're going to trade the bot tier 1 for the Herald.
Almost a 40 CS lead in the top side, 60 CS lead in the mid lane as well.
An Entropy might be getting collapsed on though by 3 members. We'll see if Zuka can get in. Probably looking for an ult from EP Joe.
Boytank's used the E aggressively.
Where's the ult? The TP's coming in. I think EP Joe might be just one shot before he can do anything. Zuka's just going to have to run for the hill as well. Good wall. Wind wall. There's the ult. Huge damage, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. It's a 5-man.
And they trade shutdowns.
But you aren't enough for Zuka.
Zuka takes Boytank's shutdown and he says, I'll have that back, thank you very much.
Boy just popped stopwatch by mistake. That's a little bit unfortunate. Especially on a Victor.
Yeah, that
sucks.
That's less than ideal.
It's not the end of the world. Gonna have to wait for the Zonias to see anything similar. Yeah, big shutdown. Who did that go to, actually?
Went to Boytank. He's
wow,
now 8-1.
3,200 gold now on that bot laner. So Boytank 8-1. Infinity Edge, by the way, not the
of course, new improved Infinity Edge makes Zeri do a lot of damage. Interesting. So he's not going for the sort of extra... I suppose the downside to Quick Blades is obviously Zeri not a very ability-based champion. Obviously her Q actually is a basic attack, so you don't really get the bonus damage aspect of Quick Blades when it comes to Zeri. He's obviously not prioritising it as much as hitting like an absolute truck on those crits.
Yeah, this gold lead now only 2,500. We'll see if Coastline want to start contesting these objectives as the third Drake's about to spawn. It would put LAGA up to Soul Point as they're looking to overload bot, maybe looking for Boy. Zuka has the ult.
Oh, it looks like Windwall does block Victor Laser apparently, or maybe he just missed.
Well, I think it depends what side you put it on. I think if you put it on the short side, it will go through it. But I think if you try and aim it through the wind wall, then
maybe so.
You see what I mean? Like the initial thing is, it's like a fight's going to break out the bot side. Ricken's going to wall in top, so you're going to fight. You can't make any moves to get into this bot side. As it's just getting blasted by this Divine Thunder. There's so much healing and damage. You're going to fight it, forced to pop the ult.
Might be dead.
You should be fine with it.
He's fine. Nevertheless, it looks like Coastline are succeeding in stalling out this game to a certain extent. And
it stops Uganda fighter from getting an early reset in to be able to join this fight. I reckon still with the TP, so... Again, this Poppy, as much as it doesn't look like... you know, has a pretty good CS lead, 1-0-1. He's doing a lot to change the pace of the game, because Uganda fighter cannot move to join any of these fights.
Got third Drake coming out for LAGA as well, putting them on Soul Point. Ocean Soul, really good for their team.
Zuka is spotted, we'll see if they want to make some moves. EP Joe covering, so should be fine. Plus with Soul Point, Ocean Soul as well, on a Poppy and a Nautilus. Pretty good for your frontliners.
Pretty good. It's going to be really hard for Coastline to be able to get the prio to fight these Drakes, especially with the incredible Cask Last Breath combo coming out from LAGA there. They're going to have to play it so carefully, but I don't think LAGA are going to give them the time.
Yeah, a lot of weight on Boytank's shoulders right now. He's the only one with any kind of lead. It's very far ahead though, I will say. 3,200 gold. So, approaching his third item. Looks like it's going to be a Rune Arms. Going to do a lot of damage in these team fights, but they're going to have to find it soon. Because this Drake...
We said Andy still has Herald as well. Herald not been used on the side of LAGA there. Zuka's in a little bit deep. He's going to force Entropy to Arctic Assault over the wall and just take his Gromp right in his face.
They've got to be careful with this Cask. Entropy's going to be...
Andy's maybe looking to drop the Herald here.
Frank's going to do a lot of damage. Ricken just battling 1v2. Maybe a little over-eager as we see Zuka still forcing this Rakan away. Oh my god, Ricken going so low. Gets out with a sliver of health left though, and there's the last breath. Huge damage from the Zeri though, just free fire on the backline. You have to imagine this Coastline's favourite as Zuka catches the Zeri, assassinated. It's just, it's a 2-for-1. The fight continues though, EP Joe the engaged. You're going to fight it, just doing so much damage with the Heartsteel now. Entropy re-engaging. Ricken going extremely low, and Vicky escaping with the skin of his teeth. Kazakhstan is going to be killed as
Gonna
well.
be an
It's a
ace.
quadra kill for a Sejuani, an ace for Coastline. We'll see if they can take the Baron, but 4 kills on a Sejuani. Wow.
Little bit of an overextension there from LAGA. They kind of thought they had the magic there when they hit the big cask into Last Breath, but like you said, Boytang was just sat on the backline free firing. Although he did get taken out by Zuka near the end there, he put out so much damage that the rest of Coastline were just able to clear up. And
you're really going to be able to catch this Seri in these team fights right at the start. She's going to pump out so much damage with these 2.5 items, soon to be 3 items completed as well.
Got to point out as well, the Herald timed out for Andy.
So really? Didn't even get it to drop.
Didn't even get the Herald down. The fight took place right as the Herald was about to time out, and he got taken out before he could drop it. Yeah.
No impact. So yeah.
3-0.
I think Coastline are in a really great spot to contest this next Drake. You know.
Yeah, the gold lead is basically irrelevant as well, being about 700 gold.
Yeah, as much as Boy doesn't have much gold in his pocket, he's working with change really. That's 2 items now in Sejuani. It's a big front line into something like this Gragas to just deny them getting space, getting into these fights, and I think Zero will be able to manage this 3rd item as well.
Knights vowed.
I have to imagine it's
got to be Zeri, right?
Surely, yeah.
I like that pickup. I really like that pickup. I think
she's the only one that matters.
I think that item is insane, and so many people. I just see so many people on champions like Rakan and champions like Sejuani not buying Knight's Vow, and I think the item is disgusting.
When you're a single threat comp like Coastline is currently, while Boy is scaling up, let's say, it's so powerful, isn't it? Just getting that onto Poppy's Vicar, good cancel on Rickham's either.
Again, we're approaching a little bit more of a slower stage. We're waiting for objectives to come up. Obviously, Coastline have got to worry a little bit about the Soul.
That's it. Soul is the real threat.
That being said,
pull that off, it's going to be big.
Ocean Soul definitely slightly less effective against the Zeri, who's absolutely chewing through you with the damage.
True.
That regen not quite as important.
Still matters a lot though against something like Victor Poke.
Yep.
Makes Mundo a lot less relevant in the side lane. You can heal up a lot against him until he has something like a Thorn Mail. Doesn't look like he's even going to go at 3rd though.
Like he's potentially going for either the Frozen Heart. I expect that's a Frozen Heart.
Probably
Randuin's
it might be a Randuin's against both these crit carries. Pretty
Randuin's
powerful.
did get a bonus damage reduction against crits this patch, so.
Oh, there you go. Not great into the Poppy, but not bad either. She does a lot of physical damage.
Looks like Ugandan Fighter might have realised that playing for the lane is over now, and he needs to play to be that big meaty boy in front of
Honestly,
his...
I think Ugandan Fighter is gonna. The whole point of Mundo is you just run interference, right? All you want to do as a Mundo is sprint at the enemy AD carry, sprint at their carries, whoever it is. Just sit in front of them and make them run away. And if they have to kite you, it means they can't hit anyone else.
Yeah.
And DPS your DPS carries. At which point your DPS carries can kill their tanks or front line, and theirs doesn't touch yours because you're a Mundo. You're just fine. So I have to see. There's a lot of health. A fair number of stacks coming out from this Heartsteel as well. Strang's about to spawn. It's all about this cask.
You've got to expect a big team fight about to appear. Ugandan Fighter is here. All 5 members of both teams are here.
Wave state's not great for Coastline, but not the end of the world. It's all about the dragon. The big 5v5. I almost expected it to come down to a smite fight, honestly, but we'll see if they can land the cask in time. I'm going to have to pop this Mundo passive off. Didn't quite land it. There's the Keeper's Verdict. Not the Sejuani away. Maybe they'll try and burst it. I don't know if they can contest now with Sejuani not there. It's just going to be burned. There it is. Soul point going over to LAGA. Easy peasy. The Keeper's Verdict makes it too easy.
Really, really good Poppy up there. Isolating the one target that you really need to hit in that scenario. Yep. Just preventing a steal. But it looks like Coastline are sprinting towards Baron. Yeah, I don't know if they're trying to lie in wait.
I think they want the team fight, honestly. But wave states are not in a great spot, so there's the ult on CTJ, but it's not the target you want to engage on. So he forces the ult from Azkasan, though. It's not actually that bad for Coastline. Big stun onto 2 members.
You know, Rickon's found himself in the back line.
He's just proxying the wave at the minute. He's looking for a flank, but going to be chased away. Dredge line goes wide. Probably just going to be a disengage. I like the post-dragon move from Coastline to try and force the fight, but they've also now given LAGA an in onto the Baron, so maybe a bit of fancy footwork coming in from the macro.
They're starting it straight up.
There it is. I mean, how do you approach? You're going to fight his force at TP because it's on the wrong side of the map. They do it so fast as well with Xayah Yasuo, with the feathers fall as well. EP Joe getting a good ult onto Boytang. There it goes. The last press used a little earlier and the wrong item, wrong champion, but it just doesn't matter. Boytang gets one shot by somebody else. I think it was Askasan. It's just probably going to be a clean sweep here for LAGA. Entry going really low. No Q available. Uses the flash. Andy flashing over onto Boy as well. He's going to go down to the Poppy by the looks of things.
Only Entropy left standing.
4 for 0.
That fight went south so quickly for Coastline.
Brutal, wasn't it?
Even with Boy, Zuka only got a one-man last breath off onto the Sejuani. He was the only survivor.
A little early.
Even with that, it just didn't matter. They just kind of brute forced their way through.
I think the gold advantages, apart from on Boytang, they're so in favour of LAGA still that if Boytang just gets taken out like that at the start of the fight or near the start, has picked up a stopwatch now, so it should be a bit easier next time. But
felt like a really disjointed fight from the side of Coastline. I nearly called Coastline Coleslaw then for some reason.
Coleslaw? You a bit hungry?
Really,
a little bit hungry?
I'm a little bit. I've been eating tuck biscuits while you've been shoutcasting.
Oh yeah, nice. Like a tuck biscuit.
Little tuck biscuit there. But yeah, I think that fight felt like it could have gone Coastline's way, but it was just Boytang just kind of got deleted at the start of the fight.
Yeah, it's so hard to walk in blind is the problem. If you're getting Nautilus ulted or Dredgelined from Fog of War or the cast coming out from Fog of War, it's so hard to react.
He did have flash up, but honestly, from what I saw, he didn't really get a chance to use it.
Yeah, he got killed within the time the CC lasted. You know, has the stopwatch for when it happens again, but can't stopwatch while you're airborne, and that's when he's going to be killed. So,
Mary's sitting on a stopwatch as well, so obviously she's feeling a little bit safe when the next team fight comes up. Between her and
Glacial Prison going down though, EP Joe just buffers the dredge line though, it's just not even going to be a problem. Nautilus is so tanky with this Ocean Soul. And she's just clearing some vision, trying to force her way back into the jungle. Siege is going to continue. As Ricken gets some Baron buffs down onto the spot side.
Between Zeri and Victor, they've not got terrible wave clear, but it doesn't look like they're just going to have to force down this tower maybe.
Ricken's going to get the favourable trades on his top side as well. Just the Divine Thunder doing so much work in the Thornmail now is going to stop Uganda Fighter from getting any kind of healing.
I think this mid tower is
going to go. They're going to move on to this top tier, the spot tier 1. I think Uganda Fighter has to be a bit careful and just collapsing. Maybe they'll take the inhibitor first, but Uganda Fighter's probably going to run for the hills here because he's going to find himself in a 1v5 pretty soon, I imagine. Unless they're just going to go for the win.
LAGA are kind of choking them out here.
There it is. Ricken just going to get the tier 2. Good maps over from map movements from LAGA. LAGA.
They've got a quarter of their Baron buff left, so they've managed to get at least one inhib now.
I think they're just going to transition all this pressure into this bot tier 3. We'll have to see. It's a bit of a spooky move getting there, but I don't think Coastline can really contest it.
Dredgeline misses.
Goes wide. It's just going to be 2 uncontested inhibitors, I think. Just try their best to slow down the progress as much as they can. Zuka looking for something, maybe.
We're now seeing the downside of the Zeri, given how short range she is. It's really difficult for her to step up and output DPS here without putting herself in danger of an
Oh, great ult from Askasan to dodge the Glacial Prisoners. It's a good engagement from the
she stopwatches though.
LAGA could be in trouble. Zuka going extremely low. You're going to fight, should be able to take him out. That's 2 kills already over to the side of Coastline. You're going to fight as an absolute beast. Look at his health bar, it just doesn't move. Good damage from the delayed call. Never can get out. Askasan looks like he's going to be taken down as Ricken's going to be killed as well. It's going to be a 5-0 for Coastline now. Are you kidding me? Oh, Boytang lives at the skin of his teeth.
Quadra kill for Uganda Fighter.
Double quadra kill for Coastline. How did they pull that off?
Wow, that is that was the hold of a century. That was.
Coastline just doing unbelievable there. 5-0 against Ocean Soul Baron. When push comes to such shove, they just have the moves.
Now, LAGA have got to worry about Elder Dragon. Looks like I don't know if Coastline can move out against it. They've got the bot wave pushed out and it's moved onto LAGA's side of the map. Looks like Boytang's going to catch top wave. Mid wave's going to be pushed out as well, so LAGA will possibly get priority on this Elder Dragon.
Yeah, I think with the 2 inhibitors, it's going to be really hard still for Coastline to contest. But
Boytang's got to make a move. He needs to get himself over to.
He needs to beeline it, doesn't he?
GA in his bag now, so he's going to be a lot safer from the Gragas Yasuo.
TP coming out from Zuka.
I don't know if he can make it in time, but
I think he should be there. It's 15k health on the Elder. They're pretty tanky these days, but
they are starting
a lot of damage. So you could just throw in the Wonder Wall up to block a bit of poke coming out from Boy.
He has arrived.
There's the start. Honestly, if Coastline can secure this Elder, it could really be a Zeri moment for Boytang. We'll have to wait and see. There goes the Glacial Prison landing on the Gragas.
Oh, huge Keeper's Verdict.
Doesn't. Huge Keeper's Verdict knocks out 2 though. They've got no damage without Boytang. Boy TPing back in, but these tanks, actually they're so tanky. Coastline's going to last a long time, but the last breath landing on Boy, I think it's going to be too little too late, as Boytang's GA's already popped by Zuka. There's so much damage on this Yasuo. Just get the flash away in the ear of the wall. We'll see if they can trade back onto this Gragas. Big shutdown goes over to Andy. Double kill for the Gragas. Poppy's going to take down Boytang though, and it's going to be a 3v1. No smite in either team though. I wonder if Uganda Fighter can run a little bit of interference. Look at the base though.
Look at the bottom
wave. Might
be
trouble
yeah.
from the minions.
Bottom wave is crashing on this tower, and I reckon it's going for it. Uganda Fighter is trying his very best to keep these guys from resetting.
Look how tanky he is, man.
Last breath back up
Even
again.
The Yasuo. Even the Yasuo can't kill this Mundo. He uses the flash. He's on 1 HP. Can he kill him? The healing from
The
Zuka
ignite
just
comes
enough
in.
to keep him alive. He goes where he pleases. Zuka, can he get the last Q? There it is. Shut down onto the Mundo, and that's going to be the game, I think. Ricken with the Divine Thunder damage. I don't think there's any way they kill him, really, before he can end the game. He's going to play with his food a little bit, and there it is. Second game without going over to LAGA. That's going to be the series. Coastline put up a good fight, but it just wasn't quite enough.
Wasn't quite enough, but they really played their heart outs there. Hearts out, I should say. It looked so close for Boytang there. He really played well on the Zeri, but just a little bit of an overwhelming amount of damage being put out there by LAGA.
Yeah, the Yasuo, Zuka really put on a clinic in this mid lane today, doing so much damage.
Absolutely shut down Boy in the mid lane as well. Just really made it difficult for him to play the game.
Gragas Yasuo as well. What a combination! That's a throwback for 2019. These flexes again coming in big. I'm surprised. I'm pleased.
Yeah, it's nice
I didn't
to
expect to see Yasuo today, but yeah, I mean, LAGA, like we said earlier, meta aside, they're just going to play their own game.
Yeah, it's again similar to what we saw in Game 1. They had an idea that they wanted to execute, and it was sort of independent of what Coastline were doing. And I'm a big fan of that strategy when it comes to this tier of game. I think playing your own game is often a lot better than putting people onto champions that they may not be so comfortable on. Just put your enemy team into a position where you just look at them and say, we're going to outskill you. We know what we're playing. We know what we're doing. And Coastline were kind of struggling with that. Despite Boytang's performance, Ugandan Fighter obviously being a usual menace on the Mundo, things didn't quite coalesce into a win for them, unfortunately. But
yeah, the Mundo's still proving his worth in that Coastline comp. Ugandan Fighter really putting up some reasons to ban it away from him, but Poppy, I'm surprised that Poppy did so well in that matchup, even so in the early game. The Divine Thunder just made that 1v1 impossible for the Mundo. But
yeah, second item Black Cleaver on the Poppy as well, so...
There was a couple of moments where Coastline got back into that game. I thought they could have turned it maybe, but Boytang, being a practically single threat comp with how far Boy was put behind by Zuka, made it so difficult for Coastline to play the game, because if Boytang ever got killed or caught out, the fight was just over.
Yeah, by the end of that game, Victor was on 2 items to Yasuo's 4. So it was Victor there, the third most impoverished champion on the Rift in that game.
Impoverished, that's a good word.
Yeah, the only champion's poorer than the Victor with the 2 supports, so that is not where you want to be.
No, and scaling champion like Victor, you really need that gold in your pocket. Even in the times where it looked like Coastline could turn it around, Boytang got a lot of free hits on that top side fight, just under the tier 2s. It looked like they were going to win that fight, but then Boytang somehow got caught out by Zuka, I think. Zuka flashing forward and managing to snipe him out.
Yeah.
Meant that Sejuani got a quadra kill, and as good as that sounds, 4 kills on Sejuani that's buying Knight's Vow is not actually adding any damage. Yeah, and when your opponent has Ocean Soul, it's not going to help all that much.
It was a few unfortunate things where a lot of the... given that the carries... Obviously, Victor wasn't outputting as much damage as he really hoped. And Boytang being enemy number 1 for LAGA to deal with, it often meant that the people remaining when the dust settled were the tanks. So they were the people picking up all these kills, which is definitely unfortunate for them. But Yeah, I think definitely kudos to Coastline. I think they really did bring their A game here. They fought really well. They definitely showed promise. It wasn't a complete roll this game.
Yeah, I think the main point they had, the problem they had, was the priority over the mid lane. Zuka just absolutely stomped both these games, just in laning phase, and the advantage he managed to translate from there into the mid game was devastating. Coastline could never really get back on their feet. The Syndra, the Yasuo, both in so much burst damage. Coastline couldn't really move.
It
the amount of just you can't face check into a Fed Syndra, you can't team fight against a Fed Yasuo. It's very difficult.
It really goes to show how the priority over this sort of mid jungle 2v2, or even just the mid lane matchup in isolation, is so important for transitioning these leads. Like having this dependable champion in the mid lane who's winning their lane, he's drawing attention from the enemy jungler and not dying to it, which is very important. It just unlocks your jungler across the rest of the map. It unlocks your ability to make moves towards these objectives and control like the macro state of the game. And Zuka was, again, it's in the name. He was just an absolute terror in both of these games.
You and your on your porch in your rocking chair there, Grandpa.
Sorry, is it squeaking again?
It's squeaking a little bit.
Sorry, I've got some WD-40 knocking around somewhere.
Yeah, come on.
It's somewhere around.
Obviously, it's a shame for Coastline. I think the Uganda fighter obviously put up a pretty good showing in that the latter parts of that last game.
Got to be said, his Mundo is always terrifying.
Pretty disgusting. And I love to see it. You don't see it anywhere else.
Yeah.
It's such a good pocket pick for that guy. And Boytang showing up in the second game as well in a big way. But yeah, I'm really impressed by LAGA. I knew that apparently they were one of the better teams in the league, and they're clearly they're drafting so good that because they're not confined to these meta picks and they pick what they want, I'm sure they could pull out a Kai'Sa if necessary, but when they're ready to just draft what they want, these team fights just seem to be able to go their way every time.
Definitely.
And who's going to contest the Yasuo, you know? You're not going to ban Yasuo unless you've seen him play it, and maybe you're only banning it at a second phase, so then you're leaving a Syndra open, or leaving something else open. I mean, who's to say? I do think, even so, it heavily revolves around mid-push. I think the meta right now is if you can get priority in lanes, either with Static Shiv or with a pushing matchup, it's so important to be able to get onto the objectives and force the enemy mid laner out. We saw it this week. We saw it last week with Bergman's Coastline as well. We'll likely see it this weekend with Bergman's versus Valhalla. Hope to see you there, by the way, you guys. If you're interested, on Sunday, we're going to be doing a bonus cast. 6 o'clock, I believe.
Yep. So your time.
That's very exciting.
Bergman's Valhalla, that should be nice. Now, of course, this isn't the end for Coastline. So, after Sunday's match, the winner of Bergman's Fisk versus Valhalla Toya will be facing Coastline for a final shot at the finals against LAGA. Yep. They've made it. Yeah,
and congratulations to LAGA.
Definitely.
Straight to the finals. First time we cast them, was really impressive to watch. Excited to see them again, hopefully in finals, if we get permission from the other team or them or whoever. But yeah, really excited to see that.
Yeah. GG to both teams there.
Yeah, well played, everyone.
Well played to all of them. Both really good drafts. I think we saw some really nice quality League of Legends here coming out, which is, good games for the fans. That's what we want to see.
Yep.
GG everyone from Magical Turtle in the chat there coming out. Beautiful. You love to see the support. Right, I'm going to go have a cup of tea and eat some more of these Tuck biscuits.
Oh, that sounds really nice. I'm going to get some leftover curry.
Beautiful. Thank you to
everyone.
And
then tomorrow, probably going to do some weird poos.
Right, thanks for that.
It's going to be glorious.
Nice to end that on a
thought you give a little freebie there.
Yeah,
I feel like it's worth it, though,
I have mixed feelings.
I mean the trade-off of eating it and then the result, rather than the statement.
Yeah, aforementioned weird poos, yeah.
It's nice.
Right, well...
The Magical Turtle appreciates it.
Apart from that, thank you to everyone to show up. We really appreciate everyone popping in.
Thanks for everyone watching. It's really fun. We look forward to Sunday.
Really grateful for everyone who shows up, and hopefully we'll see you Sunday, right?
Yep. Brill.
See you later.
Bye. Bye.